it's not useful for, it's not good for packaging. You'd use styrofoam for packaging. That's what, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, the aerogel's cool, but and it's, you know, maybe the secret link to this UFO thing, as we've talked about. If you caught the last 3 nights of UFO disclosure, catastrophic disclosure live, so yeah, it's been a wild ride, and hey, thanks Bernie for jumping on, and now we're streaming live also on Bernie's channel. Yeah, so the Project Outgrowth 1970, this guy who's involved with that, these guys, you know, it looks like a very select number of people who've been involved with these programs that have handed them down over the years. And yeah, Bob Forward headed up a lot of these projects. And then, you know, we talk about George Joseph Weber with the Weber bars, that LIGO and the gravitational wave detector. A lot of the stuff goes back to that. But yeah, the Zeta Reticuli 2 Corporation with Bob Bigelow, it's almost like Bob got tied up in this whole this business. And this was in 88. Now, I mean, 91 or 90 or something, right? So Bob Bigelow is interested in that, and then he finally decides that, you know what, I'm gonna start this company, and he's gonna try to work with the was it Harry Reid? Yeah, he's working with Harry Reid, the senator down there, to basically push these laws, which will bring more of these programs, and he hopes to bring this stuff to his state, where his company, his new aerospace company, can pick up the contracts. You know, because he's already built this whole lab, which is to be used for analyzing UFO debris and all that. And I thought that it's just super super cool when you look into the whole history of that, because Bigelow tried to get his hands on this, and then Reed pushed this all through to try to force these programs out of the woodwork. And the way they did that is they created this OSAP program. And yeah, you can look up this Senator Reid. So Senator Reid worked with contractor Bigelow to create this whole OSAPS program to study the UAP phenomena. And then years later, the same group of people working with George Knapp, still friends with Bigelow, still putting him on these fake interviews where they ask him scripted questions and he gives scripted answers. And it's same thing. He's feeding it to Joe Rogan too, which is crazy, because Joe Rogan is not digging into any of this stuff or really asking the skeptics or any of the researchers to piece this all together for him. But these are the guys that took over ufology in 2018 with the TTSA group, right? So they came out, well, we got the government insiders, we got the guy who was the head of the whole program, right? Louis Elizondo. Right?
Yeah, very impressive.
Lou Elizondo was the guy, remember Lou Elizondo on GQ? They put him on the cover of GQ magazine.
I didn't know that.
Tried to make him the next Austin Powers. Yeah, baby.
It's interesting that how many, regarding Bigelow and that, how many of these very rich guys are into mysteries, esoterics, UFOs, spirituality.
But then, yeah, it comes out he's into all that other stuff too, and they mix the programs with all that stuff too, because of Skinwalker Ranch, which Bigelow also owned, and so it's all come out that it's wrapped up in this one big mess of these same kind of characters and people that are pushing what I look at it is nothing but disinformation, because they're not talking about the scientists or the scientific work or the real legacy programs or the technologies that have come out of them, and some of them which are from this Star Wars SDI program, which are still suppressed today. So it's just
we're never going to get anything from government, military, contractors, corporations.
No, and the people that they put out in front of us, right? It turns out that they're just like these fake program. It's like the program that they created to try to get their own answers out of this stuff, and then they put this out as the real program to the public, which was really weird. And this counterintelligence guy in charge of it all. That's just the weirdest thing, is that why was Lou Elizondo picked to head that program, and then who was the quintessential theoretical physicist that I remember one of the early interviews, he claimed that the guy that brought him onto the program was a theoretical physicist. Well, where's that guy? Come on, Elizondo, like tell
he exists in theory.
One scientist's name is all I need to be able to go and look up a whole bunch of literature. And now it's a lot of that's the great thing about disclosure, is all you need is the contractor and a scientist, and then
one thread to follow.
That's it. Just pull the
Elizondo's like an untrustworthy car salesman.
Exactly. So it's been crazy ride for the last 5-6 years to the Stars Academy, and dude, where's my spaceship with Tom Well, here we are, and the Senate hearings were focused on a lot of rubbish.
Yep.
I personally thought that I thought the Mexican hearings did better. In fact, Neil deGrasse Tyson said that as well. Like, he's, as a scientist, the Mexican hearings, the Mexican UFO hearings, and Jamie Maussan did better science than Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp did with their Element 115, and they didn't bring up any of that. They didn't bring Bob Lazar there. They didn't bring any science to the table. They brought trust me, bro, I got 45 friends that say this is real.
Yeah, all the eye candy, fake bullshit.
Right? I saw this thing, but I didn't really see it. Other people saw it, and they got the witnesses that they put out at the American hearing. I just thought of so many better people that I could have subpoenaed or could have put on a panel to present the case for UFOs and this all to the U.S. government, and I would have done a way better job. But as the scientists have spoken, the Jaime Maussan did a way better job, because he actually brought physical evidence to the hearings. Who cares?
Didn't watch the Mexico hearings. He brought physical evidence. I was just the tiny body.
Right, these tiny bodies. So which a lot of people are arguing that they're just they're frauds. They're manufactured things with it. They took a llama skull and some chicken bones and pieced this thing together. Then they show the evolution of some of them. The earlier ones were much worse than the later ones. But it's if that's indeed where these things came from, that's yet to be seen, because there's still people trying to debate this. Apparently, there's still people put out stuff on Twitter, and they're holding on to that these are real alien bodies and that they covered it up. But yeah, that's what the surprise. Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson had to say about it. He said they did a
wow.
Let's play the video. I'm gonna play this video because people are like they almost don't believe me that Neil said this, but he did.
Tonight, a 4.5 billion-year-old cosmic rock about to land back on Earth. This spacecraft, which you see there, is carrying a sample of rocks and dust from an asteroid named Bennu. And it's entering Earth's atmosphere at a velocity of 36 times the speed of sound. The sample is going to land in this desolate section of the Utah desert. That's important because Bennu overall is an asteroid the size of the Empire State Building. It has a real chance of smashing into Earth in 159 years. If that actually happens, it would hit Earth with the force of 22 atomic bombs. So NASA is hoping that this sample that they've obtained could help them figure out a way to prevent an impact and learn a lot more, obviously, about asteroids. Up front now, astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson. He is the head of the Hayden Planetarium, the host of Star Talk, and he just wrote his latest book, To Infinity and Beyond, A Journey of Cosmic Discovery. So, Neil, I relish all of our conversations.
All right, I'm going to fast forward to the part where he's talking about the alien bodies.
Infinity and beyond.
This is right here.
Fire, the way it used to be. So a Mexican journalist displayed bodies of two supposed non-human beings in Mexico, in front of the Congress in Mexico. Okay, each with three-fingered hands and elongated heads. Now, Before we all mock the video, right? Because it's gotten a lot of mocking. It looks a lot like ET. But as I said, NASA just announced for the first time a director of research on UFOs. So they are taking this overall topic more seriously. What's your take on this?
Well, first of all, I like what they did in Mexico. They had what they claimed are alien bodies, and they brought it out in front of their Congress. That's better than leaving them in a locked box and saying you and no one else can get to see them. So that's a start. But in science, a new truth, an objective truth, is only established when multiple labs can analyze whatever your claim is. When we brought rocks back from the moon, we distributed them to all the labs of the world. So everybody participated in that discovery. So here, bring out samples to others and let other people, skeptical people in other labs, test this. So either verify it or falsify it, and then we move on.
What was your reaction when you saw the images?
I was surprised because if they're from another planet, why do they look so human? They have 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, shoulders, hips, femur, a rib. Why? Most life on Earth shares DNA in common with us. It looks nothing like us. So how could it somebody? So that was my first thought.
Yeah, right. You share 50% of your DNA with a banana.
It's actually a bit more than 50%. I think it's like 60 something. To be honest.
Right. Yeah. Something ridiculous. Something
How
like
you doing,
that.
Bernie?
And then even funny that Neil mentions the moon rocks, that multiple labs tested them because some of the ones that we had sent to the Dutch.
Yeah, I remember that.
They turned out to be petrified wood.
Wait. What?
Yeah,
I never heard of that.
Yeah, imagine that we gave another country a fake moon rock as a gift. They're like, dude, what the heck? We got gypped.
Well, what are your thoughts on some of the AI programs now that they've run some of the NASA footage of the moon landings through, and they're claiming that that was now artificial, that the AI is saying that it's artificial?
I didn't know they'd done that. Wow.
I'd have to look at it and see it.
In the last few days.
I thought the argument that there was a big NASA debunker guy who used to debunk all the moon landing stuff. He worked at NASA for years. You remember that guy's name? The NASA moon landing expert.
Well, the only name I know for debunking NASA is Gary McKinnon, who went in
the whole
found building.
Yeah, I know, but dude, I really think we
Not
did.
the guy that made the film
moon,
A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon.
I think that we made it there. I don't buy the Van Allen radiation belt argument. You look at Van Allen, and he worked on the whole program that built the shielding for these modules.
And also that radiation belt is pretty much a ring, isn't it? It's not a sphere, so you can just bypass it.
So then the whole thing that this guy pointed out was the collimated light, that you need a light source 4 billion miles away, like the sun, in order to replicate it, because all the light's collimated.
So my theory on it is that we went to the moon, but they also recorded it before going there, and then any time that they encountered like UFOs or something like that, they switched over to the pre-recorded footage. And
that would be more difficult than a pure fake, surely.
But have you guys heard or seen both like the missing radio transmissions from the Apollo missions where they switched over to like the private line, as well as there's these supposed leaked videos of when they actually encountered these quote unquote bogeys?
Yeah, there's no proof of that. I think it was the medical line they used. There was no proof that those transmissions were, well, there was no history of provenance for what was available online.
The weirdest thing to me has always been the expressions and the reactions of those scientists.
Yes, when they got back.
When they first come back, right?
Yeah.
So,
they were like really sad.
Apollo 11's first press conference. Right. And these guys,
it's like they'd all just been beaten up. They were just.
It's like they all got their asses beat. And it was pretty wild, because like you'd think if you just came back from the moon, man, I'd be like,
I'd be stoked.
Boss, like
running on adrenaline, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm I'm the fucking man. Like here,
Yeah.
we're gonna show you guys what's up. But these guys
Instead,
are like,
it's like they're all on Valium.
it's like it's like they gave us drugs and they sat in a sort of room in quarantine for 48 hours and told us we can't tell the public any of this.
Yeah.
And so this is what we have to tell them. And or we're gonna get freaking thrown in jail for the rest of our lives. And you know,
Families killed.
and our families killed and all kinds, you know.
By the Earth, and at this relatively close. I haven't seen the post-flight analysis of the numbers. We had roughly half of our available oxygen supply remaining in the backpacks, and somewhat less.
But the best stuff's in the beginning. That's just so wordless.
Yeah, the opening up of like, and the way Armstrong just stares off into space like empty, you know, it's so crazy.
Yeah, like the emotion and life just sucked right out of them.
Yep. And it was way past, moon lag time, jet lag time.
Yeah, it's not like they were tired and jet lagged, or they had like rested for a while in quarantine before coming out. So it's.
And a famous astronomer from Britain, Sir Patrick Moore, asked them, what was it like seeing the stars from the moon? I think he asked them. And the answer was it was just dull, lifeless, like he hadn't seen anything.
Right.
And they could have, I know that it's a highly reflective surface, and it could be hard to see stars with that beneath your feet, but there were times when they weren't on the reflective surface.
So that was our 70s, right? So we had throughout the 60s and 70s, they had this this fake space program that ran for the public, while a real space program ran behind the scenes. We know that much is true. Whether the moon landings are faked or not, I'm not going to take a position on that one. But I'm
Same here.
And I don't even really want to entertain it because I think there's.
I believe we went.
I just think that there's so much. I went to the whole museum there where they showed off all the technology and stuff to the people that worked on it and everything. It doesn't seem like it we could go back, but why haven't we gone back? That's the real question. I believe we went, but why haven't we gone back is the deeper.
And that quote of one of the NASA engineers saying that we no longer have the technology that we used. You know what?
They lost a lot of stuff. I mean, I used to think it was faked, but then I looked into it and I discounted most of the reasons people say for saying it's fake.
Well,
you can like looking up the batteries the battery specifications and stuff like that, and how it would work on the moon and the temperature changes, and a lot of the conspiracy is debunkable.
Yeah, I want to run a poll here in the and see what people have to say about that. That'd be nice.
Do you mind maybe bringing up and playing, if you can find these supposed the alternate radio transmissions of the Apollo missions? Because there's a couple that I've heard that supposedly are real, where there's like Armstrong or Buzz talking about these bogies following them or something.
Yeah, there's been a whole bunch of interviews. I wish that someone should do that. Someone should make a Buzz Aldrin compilation, because there's been a couple times when he's been pestered so much about it being fake. He's just basically said, "Yeah, it was all fake." He just flips out on the people. And he just loses his shit on them. But
if you thought that was just meaningless accusation, you wouldn't flip out. You wouldn't have that emotional charge, would you?
Yeah, that's kind of weird, and because I know people that don't believe it, and they say something. They say other things, but again, let's. I want to talk more about. I guess we could show those if you have them to bring up, Bernie. Then I guess we could play those, but
I'll try and find them quick.
But someone should do like the compilation of. like what is it called? Buzz Aldrin
Best moments.
best moments. Right.
Did you see they did a second acoustic test on the moon, and they said it didn't ring hollow? Some years ago, possibly decades.
And then when he talked about the monolith or something, because it was, you know,
That was interesting. I saw that bit.
people thought about that. That one came up too. The moon is not what you think. We lied for 55 years. What? This is 3 months ago? I must have missed this one.
Hmm.
Come on now.
Light out there that's following us. So
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
unidentified flying object.
An Apollo astronaut, Buzz Aldrin, who's dedicated his life to exploring the moon, has made a shocking revelation about our celestial neighbor, the moon. His revelation stands to redefine everything we've ever known about the moon. Who is Buzz Aldrin? What did he discover? What made his discovery authentic? Put on your space boots as we embark on a voyage to unravel the hidden mysteries of the moon. We all know Buzz Aldrin. In case you don't, here's a little about him. Born on January 20th, 1930 in Montclair, New Jersey, Buzz Aldrin is an American astronaut who made history by being the second person to walk on the moon as part of the Apollo 11 mission in 1969, thanks to his colonel father, who played a big role in nurturing his interest in flight. Aldrin excelled academically and graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering from West Point in 1951. He did pretty well and graduated third in his class. After that, he became a pilot in the Air Force and flew in the Korean War. He was part of the 51st Fighter Winged SEAL, and he flew F-86 Sabre.
I'm gonna get nailed for playing too much of this, guys. This is no discovery, so I don't want to get the copyright strike on
Yeah.
it. So
I posted one minute clip in the private chat that's supposedly of these radio transmissions. I'm just pulling up another one if you need it.
thank you for the for becoming a member. I encourage other people who are interested in supporting this channel and the research that we do here to send super chats or consider becoming members. But definitely costs you nothing to smash that like button and the subscribe button. So please do that as well, because that helps us out a ton. I see a lot of new people here, a lot of returning people. So definitely come check us out. Oh, and even Dark Journalist is live now, it looks like, talking about NASA missions and all that stuff.
You're on Patreon, Jeremy, rather than giving YouTube a percentage.
Striking for its complete.
Am I on what?
Patreon or something else, rather than giving YouTube a percentage? Is there another way to more directly contribute?
I have Bitcoin wallets, so if you can ask for that, or you could do PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, that kind of stuff. So I do all those. If
We desperately need to create Patreon accounts. I also have been lacking on that.
yeah, I had one before, and it was like they take a certain percentage too, and
Gary, I'm not sure if you're aware. If you want to, you're able to restream this to your own channel if you like. There's a button in the top right. Share with your audience if you want to. Just if you want to get some of your own content for your time, we do appreciate you joining us, good sir.
I appreciate you guys enormously.
all right, see if you guys can see my comments on Dark Journalist's video, because I was banned there for a little while. I think he might have hopefully he reinstated me. I think he did. I wrote him an email and apologized to him for I got banned by one of the moderators on the channel for there was an interview that he did about a month ago where it was an interview of himself, and it was this girl that was hired to do it, and everyone was just like, it was like super fake. Like he wrote the questions and gave them to her, and she was just this pretty face there to ask the questions. and everyone was commenting about it, and I just cracked a couple too many jokes about it and got myself banned. I just apologize to him for that. I'm sorry. That's out of line. But you should do an awesome interview with on alien scientists. I've been dying to sit down and talk to this dude. We finally got John Warner the Fourth to come on the other day. That was an epic interview. If people want to go, if haven't seen that, that was a fun interview. Definitely. He's always awesome to watch on Dark Journalist and check out. So yeah, check out Dark Journalist if you guys are into the JFK and UFO file and a lot of those connections. He has a slightly different take on a lot of these things, but some of his information is really good and worth looking into. So definitely, and he's got a super big following too. It's like 2 or 3 grand, 10 times the people watching him live that I do here on this channel. Yeah, so definitely go check that out if you haven't already. Yeah, no, that would be an awesome discussion. Yeah, I know. He's a good dude though, and I'm glad that he reinstated my account and because I was banned on there after that for a while, but it wasn't him, it was his mod, and I may have deserved it, so apologize for that. But sometimes we get a little carried away, right?
Oh, cool! It's working. It's live streaming on my channel too. Cool.
And we get some people get carried away in the live chat here too, and that's all right, man. That's what we open it up for that sort of thing. Sometimes
human nature.
It's a fun time. So we can all laugh and make fun of human nature, right? And if you can't, you're not learning from it. So I'm glad that he has a sense of humor and was not, didn't hold a grudge about that, because I didn't mean any of those comments personally. It was just more my way of nudging you into giving me an interview. Because anyways, yeah, that would be great, man. Dark Journalist, respect for this dude's work, and I didn't mean to schedule my stream at the same time as yours
with national.
So apologize for that, brother. Definitely an awesome channel. What else is on right now? Bob Lazar on Truth Seekers live right now. Oh, Ashton Forbes is live right now. Still killing it. Look, he's got more people than watching him than we have over here.
Right, I know. Ashton's been doing some crazy work. It's tough to. I think it's still legit. Like there just seems to be harder and harder attempts to debunk, and then it seems that every second day they debunk the debunk. So I really don't know what to make of it. But
here's what I make of it, right? Is that we've come accustomed to this culture of cancel culture, right? That's what we have, is this cancel culture, that we have this culture that's like, oh, well, so and so investigated this and that's been debunked, and now we need to blacklist this person and never talk about this again. And I've been encouraged, not to talk about this again, and it's kind of like why I've been rolling my eyes when you bring it up randomly. And I'm like, all right, like, I guess we could talk about this, because I don't want to drive a wedge in the whole movement. We've got so much like potential going right now. We've got all these people behind the UAPDA, behind disclosure, behind catastrophic disclosure. And I don't want to drive a wedge in those people, because he's got more people following him than I have over here. And if I go and you know what I mean? I'm not going to be the one it's not up to me to say if it's real or fake or not. And it's not
exactly. We're just sharing a story.
The thing is, the government consistently and constantly avoids investigations and doing real investigations and opening committees on a whole variety of topics. It's not just MH370. And yes, there's money to investigate all these things. There was, we had a couple $100 million that were investigated. Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky's form there. So there's.
Oh yeah, the blatant denial and misrepresentation from government officials that we put our trust in. It's almost so prolific now that you have to ask yourself, Is this an intentional part of the
Oh,
training?
it's the oldest
Where
story.
literally the
Right.
denial acts as a catalyst to get us to look in all the wrong directions because we think, well, something must be more interesting when somebody's not talking about it than what we really should be looking at, which is probably far more obvious and less able to be hidden. But maybe we just simply shouldn't be paying attention to that because there's these mysteries that they can create endless rabbit holes for that we can trudge down and give up our time with absolutely no hope in sight of ever reaching an end destination since there never was
Yeah.
one to begin with.
Yeah, everything's a lie. The people are a problem for the government. We're not the sort of root and branch that we should be. We're a problem to be managed. So they'll always lie to us.
Yeah, especially those of us who ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
You stinkers looking in my garage, looking in my shed, trying to figure out what.
Don't go in the dark places.
But Jeremy, if it's up to you, but if you want back on your channel for the sake of just sharing the information, but I believe next Sunday I've got Ashton scheduled again, at least on my channels, as I do feel he should have the right to share his story and update the information.
Well, I haven't heard from him in a while since he was on my channel last, so I would love to jump on and cross the streams Ghostbusters style.
Absolutely. So I will confirm that with him then and let him know that you're down for the part. And it's next Sunday, not this Sunday, but next Sunday.
And you folks in the back room, we see you. You're not being ignored. Just
Who are you
about a
discussing?
minute here.
Yeah, we see you guys. What's up? I'm gonna bring some more people on. Hopefully they don't drop anything too sensitive.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So I wanted to ask you guys if you ever heard of the whistleblower JP talking about he was allegedly a Space Force whistleblower that Michael Sala does an interview with him, and he talks about the ARC project. You ever hear of that?
I haven't. I never believe these ex-Space Force guys.
Yeah, you know what, anything when Michael Sala touches is, I would just be very, very careful. He's a few times he's done some interesting reporting and stuff, but
right. But I can give you something even more interesting
with them, but there's like that 10 or 15% like real truth that somehow sneaks out through these. So could be one of those. Yeah.
Well, okay. Here's
can't find it.
Here's how this relates.
The private chat.
That story kind of relates to me. See, that story basically came out in 2021, and I've had this phenomenon follow me around since '92. So 2 years ago, 2021, I decided to just get a night vision camera and some equipment and start recording this stuff because you can only tell us a story till people say, well, prove it. So back then I recorded this thing I called it Astro Train, right? Because it looked like a flying cargo train in the sky, and it had this giant rectangular light bar on the bottom with these black windows in it. And as this thing was moving through the clear sky, it was actually spraying out a fog or some kind of gas around the entire craft, okay, as it was traveling through the sky. So after I saw that, I drew a picture down and, I posted it on YouTube, and I was trying to see if I could find more of the same type thing. Well, little after that, I heard this story about JP and how he was talking about how they're unearthing these things and finding them all around the world, and how they're starting to turn on. And he was saying that this craft is non-human craft, and it's basically, they call it the ARC project because it's basically an ark where he states that it has a bunch of plants and seeds and all sorts of other life forms in it. He was talking about it has pods in there and all sorts of weird stuff. And it's basically to save humanity and life itself, right? So what I found interesting is that when he said that they started turning on is basically the same time I recorded it, I recorded the same thing, and ever since then, the past 2 years, they've been popping up all around the world. And I made a compilation video of this same craft that I recorded. It looks exactly the same in every recording, all around the world. And like this last summer here, one was recorded in China, and it was actually sitting in the sky, like not moving. And the people of China called it the sky train, because they said it looks like a train, that's just sitting there. They've actually had people try to chase this thing down with drones, and I've been trying to get the footage of this thing.
Is the spray,
I've been trying to get
is it glittery
Yeah.
at all? Is it glittery and shining?
What's that?
Is the spray glittery and shining?
No, the spray is like a gray color, but like I said, the lower half of this craft, it's got this bright light, like it's white, super bright. It's basically like to see the windows, I had to squint my eyes because it was so bright. But the weird thing is I captured it on 2 cameras, and the one night vision camera turns out to be this purple color, while the cell phone camera looks like a dull gray color, and it doesn't even match the color when I saw.
Changes color, so that's understandable.
Do you happen to have
so I've been
videos accessible for us to load and play and share by chance?
Yeah, of course. Just go to Sightings on 18 Wheels. One of the first, I think, 3 or 4 videos that pop up, you'll see it says Astro Train with pictures on there. You might want to mute the sound or the volume though, but this craft, it basically was like it looked like a elongated upside down T, where the light, it was actually wider than the craft itself that was on top of the light. And then as it got right in front of me, I could physically see the spray being sprayed around the craft as it was traveling through the sky. And the odd thing was
the location of the spray was from you.
Yeah, like I said, I could see the color of the spray. It was gray going through the white light. The top of the craft had like a glow to it. It was almost like a bluish glow.
Did you investigate
And
the ground?
no, I don't even know how far it was away from me. I mean, it could have been 3 blocks away, or it could have been right outside our atmosphere. I don't know, but all I know is the thing was huge. But I know the same night I recorded it, somebody 25 minutes away from me recorded the same thing, and they had a pair of binoculars, and they happened to look almost underneath the thing, and they said it had these metallic orbs on the bottom of it. I think no, that's not the video. I'm sorry. It should be labeled. Let's see. Let's go down. It should be labeled. It should say Astro Train. Maybe. Oh wait, go back up.
Use a search.
Right there, Astro Train of pictures. Yeah, just take the sound off. Yeah, I've been trying to contact you, Jeremy, for a while now about this thing, because I know a couple months ago you were talking about how about a craft, producing some sort of force field around it, and that's exactly what this looked like. It looked like it was like basically it was. I'm no scientist or anything, but it looked like it was using the light to lift the craft up from its smoke it was pumping out. Yeah, it'll come up right here. It'll show up. There it is, the pink thing there. But yeah, what I could see with my own eyes, though, how the spray was spraying out, it was kind of like a pressure washer. Like if you had a pressure washer and you were holding it in front of you and you were walking through the mist.
Nice catch, man.
The only difference with this was it was spraying to a point instead of being sprayed or fanned out.
Oh, there was no, so it wasn't tapered. It was a straight line.
Wow, that is
Right.
super interesting. The way that thing just slowly drifts through the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you play it in slow motion, you can actually see the fog go around it, like it's kind of tumbling around it.
Yeah, let's shoot back and take a look at that
And
real
this
quick.
is the cell phone footage. Now you see how different it is between the cell phone camera and the night vision camera.
What was
And
the
what I
night
saw
vision
was-
hardware?
Yeah, it almost looks like a traveling wave at the surface now with the cell camera.
Yeah, that's basically
Not
it
a,
was
you
basically
know,
riding
not
its
quite frame
it was
synchronized
basically
traveling wave.
riding its it was riding its own wave, basically.
Yeah, it's really looking a lot kind of like that.
And you can see that how it's fluttering right there. Now if
Yeah,
you
that could
slow
be
it down,
zooming in.
you can really
plus
see the
image quality.
Now the crazy thing is all the other ones I put in the compilation video, they all look the exact same as my cell phone footage right here. They all have the fluttering effect. And then one of the videos, you can actually see where the light bar is actually white, and you can see the black windows inside the light.
The fluttering
It's
effect
super
could be
crazy.
image artifacts. What was it like to the naked eye?
It was like a metallic.
Did it still have the
Almost
fluttering?
it looked like a DeLorean, right? That sat outside for like 40 years. It was kind of blackened, stainless steel looking, and it had these
Like
vertical
old
black
gunmetal.
lines.
And I can't
Yeah,
believe how
yeah.
continuous looking the night vision is. And so let's say this thing is, traveling wave, and we're looking at sort of, a frame difference in the low exposure time and lower light sensitivity for the cell cam footage, right? But we're looking at this other long exposure night vision. Well, the thing about the night vision cam is that it does an averaging function for all the photons hitting that high sensitivity screen that's looking
It
at a
depends on
longer
the
wavelength,
hardware,
right?
though. Is it
So,
light amplification or is it infrared? What was the hardware for the night vision?
bright light amplification, right? It's probably the V3. So what it basically means is that you have this thing called this ISO
Well,
function, which
let's
is
ask
how
the
much
guy
light
what he was
you're
using.
amplifying in your digital side, and you also have the shutter speed, which is how long your shutter is open versus the total amount of time it takes to measure a frame. So if you measure 1/30th of a second at 30 frames per second, then you have 100% shutter. And
What
with
night vision hardware were you using?
well,
Then we'll actually know.
yeah, that's a good question.
I was using a Cyanix 720p color night vision camera, and then the camera was a Samsung.
Right, have to look up the specs of that.
What I'm trying to suggest here is, does it not look like that perhaps from the cell phone footage, it might be a pulsed type of drive that may be sequentially pulsed, whereas the night vision tends to average all of it together, and it looks like it's sort of a continuous glow, but it might not actually be a continuous glow. It could actually be pulse driven along, the linear sequential array.
Yeah.
From what I saw with my eyes, it was the light was continuously on. It never shut off the whole time I saw it. When I first saw the craft come in, it actually looked orange and red. It almost looked like a fireball coming in. But then as it got closer, it looked like it turned more grayish, whitish gray. And it looked like it was traveling in a fog cloud, basically.
Right. So no
As it
fluttering
got-
to the naked eye.
Did it ever look like
Yeah.
it was, blinking or flickering just a
No.
little bit? Or it was just
No.
a completely steady state looking light source?
Yeah, it was just a steady light. And
Nice
that
catch
light,
there.
like I say, it was on the bottom of the thing. So in the cameras, it's hard to see the top half of the structure, but the structure was tall. It was totally vertical. There was no signs of. I didn't see any signs of propulsion at all, other than the light and the spray that was being sprayed around it.
It's a little strange, just the appearance of the recording from the cell phone from your Samsung there, where it doesn't seem to be quite as continuous, and you almost get the scrolling shutter-like effect, as if it's blinking at a frequency that's above what you can visibly see with your eyes.
Yeah, even when it
Right.
wasn't zoomed in.
Yeah, and then there's another video I have on the channel too, where I wanted you to take a look at also, where it says UFO beaming a light down on the trees. Now
sounds like something good.
Yeah, that video there, we could not see the beam as we recorded the craft go by or whatever the light was. There's upon review after the thing went by, we actually saw the camera picked up this thing was beaming the light down. It's really crazy. I don't even know how to explain it. I really don't. It's worth taking a look at though.
That's what makes it interesting.
You're
Right.
like, what
But
in the
I
world
wanted to
moves
share
that
this-
smoothly? Really?
Very
and
smooth.
quiet. Like it's totally quiet.
You know what? I really can't wait until these things just start showing up in mass and just occupying all the skies and where it's undeniable.
Undeniable.
I
Now
mean,
go up.
there's been a meteor shower the past 3 nights. I've been out looking at the stars,
Yeah,
the
me
Perseus
too.
meteor shower. So I saw tons of
Yeah.
meteors, but I didn't see anything like that, man. That's wild.
Yeah. Now scroll up to. There's one more I want to show you. Scroll up to towards the top.
We're due
There
for a
should be
huge one in
one.
2032. We're having a torrid
Where is
mega
it?
swarm.
Okay, right there on the third one in. What does that say? I can't read it.
The arrival part
Oh
2.
no! Wait, no. Do the next one over. So the fourth one.
The arrival Tim's
No, wait,
UFO.
that's not it either. Where is it? Oh, shoot. That's not the one. That's the first part of it.
Guys, you're watching Catastrophic Disclosure Live. I'm your host, Jeremy Riss, the alien scientist. We have Gary McKinnon, the NASA hacker, with us. We got Jeremiah Pop on, Bernie in the house.
Okay,
And
it's the
what's
one.
your name again?
The
And
one
where
labeled.
can we find you?
I'm Game Veto too. It's the one with. Okay, it's the one on the left there with it says Gabber Beast. Shows UFO and yeah, that one.
Or is that your name on Twitter too? Let's see if I can find you on there.
My name's Twitter. I'm sightings on 18 wheels.
Yeah,
Is that
sorry.
not it?
You guys got to keep on me in my Twitter inbox because it gets jammed up
No,
real
that-
quick. Guys, I got
Just
to.
ran from Twitter.
Hey, thank you.
That's
We got
not the-
another $10 super chat in from Gunama. Thank you for all you do, Jeremy. I'm really curious if you've covered the Wilson Davis memo and Ike Shannon notes in the past and your thoughts about it. It's just a secondhand record of a conversation, right? That Wilson Davis memo. I mean, I personally was not super impressed with that as evidence of a reverse engineering program. I pointed out that the whole history of Battelle and Marconi Aerospace with the Marconi Aerospace scientist death conspiracy that still hasn't been resolved, and a number of other suspicious scientists like Robert Sarbacher and John Elroy Center and a number of other scientists who have come and spoke about these supposed reverse engineering programs and stuff in the past, including Philip Corso. So there's other claims of this that go into way more evidence and detail than the Wilson Davis memo and that supposed link to this thing, which just goes to Eric Davis. He's a guy that has worked on a lot of these programs. He wrote a lot of those defense intelligence reference documents, reports, and stuff for the U.S. Department of Defense and stuff. But he, as far as access to those programs, he might know some stuff. But
Yeah,
it'd
right
be
now,
awesome
he
if it's
said,
true.
she said.
Right? It'd be awesome if it's true and if it's real. But you know what? I think that there's other avenues that we could look into that would blow that out of the water, because we know that it's hidden under one of these umbrella organizations that's not accessible by FOIA. It's in a private corporation, private institute. Like this would be a perfect place to hide something like that. So we've pointed that out before. I say that I would much rather them. If I had to waste precious moments of Congress's time and telling them what to investigate in terms of finding legacy programs for UFO reverse engineering, I would tell them to look into Battelle and Marconi, and I wouldn't tell them to bother with the Wilson Davis memo, because where's that going to lead to Admiral Wilson, and all that stuff? You got to go after the contractors and the corporations that have been hiding this for 70 years and running this cover up.
Yep. Follow the money.
Man, there is so much to be desired when it comes down to tracking a comprehensive list of authority who had each of the samples that were originally credited with starting a lot of this research, to each of the individual scientists, the engineers who had come from what program, whether it was Battelle, whether it was Cambridge, whether it was from many of the other alternatives. But there is just this entire lack of history, and the fact that it's been so incredibly difficult to track it down, but we see this crap floating around in our skies. It's hard to believe that this many years after, we still don't have solid answers. They're really hanging on to that one.
Yep.
What fascinates me, Gary, is your testimony of finding that NASA image with the cylindrical craft, and that we just even looked at, that SkyTrain essentially also looked like these cylindrical crafts, and like the cigar-shaped crafts, and how they've been documented throughout history, and now all of a sudden there's zero talk about them in the official thing. It's just these Tic Tacs, which most likely are our own drones or whatnot, as opposed to these cylindrical and disc-shaped, the two of them, and usually it's the disc-shaped that are reported coming out of the cylindrical ones, that as motherships or something, but that they've been reported literally all the way back throughout, like time immemorial, pretty much.
Yeah,
and
that's a really good point. A lot of the older sightings did include cigar-shaped craft, and they're far less common now. And the cigar-shaped craft were always much larger.
At least with Tesla's missing documents, we actually do have a bit of the custody list. We know that it went to the Department of Alien Affairs, long before we had things like CIA or FBI thoroughly established. So at least we do know sort of what happened to that. We know that after that point, a lot of the files were paper files, at least in those crates. 2 of the 3 were transferred right back to Croatia and then redistributed. So, and then there was still this third crate that came up missing 30 years later, and that had to be an entire act of God through, I guess, some of Trump's family members. So we do have a history of the custody for these documents, but we have far less information about what we have far more data points on, which are these crafts. How the technology came about, who developed it, where the funding went, why we are missing trillions of dollars in programs that have no accountability whatsoever still to this day, and regardless of how much we look into it, we still can't find answers. It just seems crazy.
And the government investigates itself and finds that, no, we don't know what's going on, and we have no idea. It's just a continuous circle jerk on the American public at our expense. So it's terrible what's going on, guys. Hey, guess what? It's getting late here for me, so I gotta dip out and end this stream on my end. Bernie, if you want to keep this going,
yeah, sure. Gary, Jeremiah, if you guys got one
in the background, I've been waiting to be patiently let in for a while. So.
Oh yeah, lose one, Jeremy.
Hey.
How's it going, Jeremy?
It is going well. It's been a great stream. It's so.
Dude, you look like a total freaking agent with those glasses. I swear.
I know. I was going for a bit of a Neo look, but I realized I've got the flip side, a bit of an agent.
Oh, you pulled off the Neo look. I'd say that.
Yeah, I didn't get fully decked out, but I try. But hey,
if Jeremy's right, then talking about these things is rather catastrophic for their side, at least, and for the rest of us, it's just something that we've been talking about for decades now. So
right. Except when they decide to kill your family and friends, and then it's a bit of a stick in the chest. But hey, I've got a question for you, Gary. Why is it that the anonymous hackers would wear Guy Fawkes masks? And I'm not talking about the symbolism with Guy Fawkes. I'm talking about why would they wear a mask to use the computer? Now, I know what I think, but I'd like to know what you think.
I don't think they wear them while they're doing their work, if that's what you mean.
You don't think that they use it when they just use the computers on the regular. It's just in
Fantastic.
webcam
Why
sessions.
do that when you're in your own place?
Right.
I'm pretty sure a piece of electrical tape is probably a lot easier than putting on a mask.
Certainly. Well, but I guess if you think about it like this, the television, since I think the 60s or 70s, has been there has been a camera in the back of the television tube, which is why they put a radioactive sticker on the tube, and why they manufacture it. Like I've dropped a television.
I've opened up a lot of televisions,
I've
especially
never
the
seen
old
anything that was
CRTs,
facsimile
and
to
there's
a
never been
camera
a camera
ever.
on the inside.
No.
No.
I've got
Okay.
pieces of TV sitting in a box behind me. I can show you the back end
Give
of,
me all your flybacks.
yeah,
All
I can
right.
show you the back end of your CRT and your 12 input primary wires, and then your 4 field control coil wires for your yoke, and I can show you your other 4 wires for your XY correction. That's your little
Yep.
steering knob, and nowhere anywhere in there
What
is
could
a
that be?
spot for a camera, any kind of transceiver whatsoever, unfortunately.
Agreed.
So
Okay. All right. Yeah. I was
a lot of
just
these
curious.
things, they just get polluted out there in the public, and
Yeah.
if you really look into them, like if you're part of something unique that's been going on, and you try to find this stuff online, what you find is a lot of misinformation. This is sort of like the misinformation that everybody was sold on some couple of years ago, where there was allegedly a series of TVs that they claimed were Russian manufacturer that had something that looked exactly like a fuse, because it was a fuse, but was instead filled with what they claimed to be red mercury. And then a series of fake videos were produced, which we've had to debunk on Bernie's channel like 4 times because people keep on bringing them up.
Wow, I didn't hear
Anyways,
about that
we
one.
took apart those exact same models of TV. So when I seen the images of what were allegedly these very unique and rare to find Russian manufactured CRT televisions, then I'm like, oh yeah, I took that one apart. Yeah, that's that's a Zenith. And
Right.
that was made in 1982, and I have parts from that one sitting in this box over here, and I can tell you for sure what that is. That's a fuse. That's a nice little 4 amp slow blow, and all you got to do is heat the ends to pop one side of it off, and you just fill it with a red liquid and go ahead and make big videos. So
But
just be cautious about that.
The thing is though that I mean, I remember seeing that video with Edward Snowden where he took apart a cell phone and he removed a particular chip that was doing tracking. And the thing that you gotta remember is that with
Well,
like
that
the
part's
kind of
true.
right, that is true.
Deep
For sure.
Googling.
But you gotta remember that with like the kind of hacker mentality, like repurposing particular parts of computer parts for a new purpose. I mean, there could be parts in a television or in a computer that were designed for one thing, and that's what they
So
do.
there's
But it can
definitely like
be
the back
reused.
doors installed into like the computer processors. Like, right, Gary, you can kind of speak on this a little bit. You have knowledge of it, or no?
To back what you're saying about this
Hardware
conspiracy
backdoors.
concept that all TVs have microphones in
I'm-
them. Okay, so if
I'm
you
saying
own
the
something called a
smart
smart
TV,
TV, you have a microphone in your TV. It's again, smart TVs contain
Right,
microphones.
it's not a conspiracy.
It's
It's part
yeah,
of the
not a
marketing.
conspiracy
listed
at all.
as
It's
the
well known. So
properties.
that's a built-in function, even if you don't have direct access to it and you can't use voice to text or anything else. Those parts are added because they cost a little about 3 freaking cents, and we found condenser microphones on a
And
lot
there are
of
plenty
smart
of
TV
people on
boards.
YouTube that have run like Wireshark over the Ethernet, watching what your television transmits and stuff, and like they've done with Alexa.
All right, if you want the really
Oh wow,
fascinating
that
conspiracy
would
stuff,
that sounds really interesting.
the interesting part
right.
would be something like this. Let's consider that you have a device that literally doesn't have a microphone in it, or you have a microphone that's completely disabled. Would you ever consider that it could be possible to use tiny little integrated pings from both your Wi-Fi router and from your cell phone and from your 3G, 4G, and 5G networks to profile based on pingback time the entirety of your room and all objects that are moving in it based on the refractive index and one simple set of triangulated receivers? So this is actually a thing. They showed the idea of the technology in something they call the Eye of God. It was in a Batman movie, and they used not just the microphones and the phones, but they used a Wi-Fi ping signal to try and create 3D map outs of entire internal environments for buildings and structures and all, you name it, basically to get this whole sort of X-ray vision layout. And
Right.
that's entirely a plausible technology. It's already been done. There are some YouTubers who did it for fun, just to see if they could use Wi-Fi pings, and it's even been taken to the point where you can use that signal data, and you can use video analysis data in combination with it if you happen to have a camera that was equipped with that device to look at tiny fluctuations of things like potato chip bags in the environment, or plastic surfaces, or window panes, and actually look for little light reflections, 1 pixel at a time, and from that get all of the wave data at a reasonably high bit rate to interpolate spoken word or conversations that were going on anywhere.
And also, what about brain activity?
Even the taps
Electrical
on your
signals.
keyboards.
It's electrical signals being sent throughout the brain, neurons firing, neurotransmitters being activated. They can see all these things. I'm 100% convinced of this, just through the computer, and it's not based on your webcam at all.
Computers tend not to have that hardware built into them, but most cell phones do, especially things that are iPhone 13 and newer. Almost all of your Samsung Galaxy series that are newer than Samsung 6, Galaxy 6, and a lot of these things, they have built-in telemetry interfaces, and for the most part, they're not utilized in this type of fashion. Certainly not by the accessible software, and not by anything that the user can ever gain access to. But things like the backdoors that are built in for NSA and FBI, stuff that you can't actually block against because they are completely hack-free access points, and they were part of the agreements from manufacturers directly with these government officials,
right.
agencies.
It's part of the actual hardware. So there's no way you can use a device like that and not have the NSA and FBI access you in that way, right?
Right. So by getting one of these devices, you're basically accepting, terms and conditions wise that you're going to give access to these organizations and to these agencies, and literally you have to take that thing apart, and you would have to desolder certain chips, desolder certain resistors, capacitors. You'd have to have the whole schematic layout to know exactly which parts removed to disable those devices.
Just like Edward Snowden did, but you couldn't figure that out on your own. You'd
have
to be an inside person and know, because
what's worse is that the same devices used to gain backdoor access are actually part of the critical functions of the phone. So if you disable them for one, you disable them for the entirety. And these phones aren't exactly easy to modify in terms of adding a switch on the side to shut it off. It's not like the old Lenovo ThinkPads or the HP Evo series where you had a physical hard switch to shut off the mic or shut off the webcam, a switch by each, and they would physically disconnect power directly from the down converters into those devices, and when they were off, they actually were freaking off because they had no electricity to run. They don't make them like that anymore, that's for sure.
You've just got to assume there is no privacy.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, the NSA had a hand in every single open source protocol.
Yeah, honestly, the closest thing you have now is something called airplane mode, and at least that on the software level tries to shut off power to most of those things.
The thing is that's just based on that. Here we're just talking about technology. We're just talking about smartphones and laptops maybe, and there are ways for them to track you without technology. I mean, look at COVID. Novid, or what? Sorry, I didn't mean to use that word. Convid. I'll use it. Convid. Yeah, that Convid thing that happened. When they forced everybody to get a Convid test, that they sent in your data, your sample to a place that's analyzed that, and they were able to figure out your DNA resonant frequency from all of those samples. Now, if you never took a Convid test, you'd be fine. I happen to have, unfortunately, been on probation during that time, so my probation officer made me do it. So I had no option. But thankfully, that was all done with, and I got no record and all that stuff. But
I'm not a microbiologist, but I'd assume that everyone's DNA has the same resonant frequency since it'd be made from the same material.
Well, from what I've read is that every person has their own unique DNA resonant frequency. So if they want to, once they have that frequency, they can just dial in to like turn up your frequency and look through your eyes.
I think there's a lot of information out there that's meant to create fear. That it isn't.
Sure, yeah, that's possible. It's possible. I mean, well, that definitely happens, yeah. But I've had personal experiences that tell me that that's true.
Yeah, there's so much disinfo just to create that fear.
But I'm telling you,
It
I'm not talking about
subdues the
fear here.
population.
See
But no,
everything.
that's the whole point of the propaganda, is to make the fear, put fear in everybody. Because if you're afraid, you're not angry, and if you're angry, you're gonna rise up and do something. If you're afraid, you're just hiding and confused and feeding the fear.
Right, and I'm not
got a
talking
good
about
point
fear
with
or
that,
anything
Bernie.
like that. I'm talking, and you do have a good point. You do have a good point. But I'm telling you that I've had experiences where I can tell that somebody's tuned in my frequency and they're looking through my eyes, and they have this reaction.
So that right there, you're talking more experiencing
subjective experience.
Well, definitely that, but I guess it's almost I think it's a hitchhiker experience, but it's also like a potential telekinetic sort of thing or interdimensional sort of thing, which
it's
body hijacker, I guess, is what they're referred to. A lot of people talk about in YouTube land.
Yeah. Well, I have. Are we live on YouTube right now? By the way,
we still are.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Still
All right.
on,
Well.
Gary's.
All right. So I'll keep it.
Hey,
minimal
if
here, but-
somebody can somebody post a Jeremy alien scientist G drive link?
The Google link.
Yeah, G drive, the Google Drive link, the archive. Do they have it?
I think Jeremiah's got that.
I don't have it handy. I have the one to our main drive, but we haven't been really sharing that. I believe there's a more public back version of it that we have been sharing access to. We had a bunch of people come in and they came out of nowhere and they deleted a huge number of files, so we had to really lock it down.
Well, okay, Jeremiah, I'll just ask you for the main one through phone. Okay.
Yeah, that I'm gonna have to get that to you. Not immediately. I have to get him to actually approve it now. So
okay.
I took off. I took off as partially managing that one, and because I had submitted my files years ago, and it's been pretty much up to Darren now. He just takes care of all of that.
Okay. Well, if you can't, when you can, just send it to the number through the text, and I'll do start researching and stuff.
Yep. Taryn's been pretty busy lately, but I can try to get him to get you on there. He'll have to approve you. Otherwise, there should be a backup version floating around that's made public. It doesn't affect our primary database.
Okay, but just whichever link or whichever. So.
Hey man, it's good to hear your voice. We haven't talked in a while. Who's this? What's your name?
Jeremy Godoy.
Oh, Godoy. Yeah. Good to hear from you, man. Good to hear.
Yeah, I've been busy, man. I've been trying to get things done for finance. So
yeah,
heck
Jeremy
yeah,
W and Jeremy G.
Trying to join too.
Well, I gotta read.
I can see that even G is up late in the audience too.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Well, so
Hey,
hey,
guys,
the last.
I just got on the road. Sorry about that.
Okay.
No worries. So, game that 18-wheel disclosure, what the channel was. So yeah, if you guys don't mind, I'm just quickly gonna play the astronaut audio of the UFOs during the Apollo mission. That this supposedly is.
Supposedly being the key word.
So exactly, right? Supposedly.
Is this that audio clip that was allegedly picked up by ham radio operators?
Yeah.
That's another one. I've got that loaded that I can also play.
All right. Well, this one.
Oh no, this is from the medical channel, apparently.
Don't worry. Continue your program. Oh boy, it's really something that was fantastic here. You couldn't ever imagine this. Roger, we know about that. Could you go the other way? Go back the other way. Well, that's kind of rich. Pretty spectacular. God. What is that there?
We could do some AI voice analysis on this.
That's Apollo. What the hell is that? No, Tango. It's kind of what? Roger, we got it. We marked it. Lose communication. Bravo Tango. Bravo Tango. Start Jezebel. Yeah. But this is unbelievable.
Something's rubbing me really wrong about that audio. As a music producer, as an audio engineer, as a guy who's done a lot of live shows, that audio is really off.
Yeah.
Frequencies weren't right. Interlacing wasn't right. Timing wasn't right. Tonality, just there was something really off about it. It's got that, what I guess it'd be sort of like the uncanny valley for sound, if you will.
Oh yeah, sure.
And there's no
It's
proof
really
of
off about
provenance.
that
It's
though.
all tapes.
Yeah, I don't know if I've heard that one before. There's a longer one that I'll try to get organized for the next episode, and also Apollo 20. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, it's
The
bullshit.
supposed that's bullshit. Because there's some other Augie or something, some YouTuber that claims that same ship you can go on to like Google Moon, and there's like coordinates for it. So it's like,
Are you talking about the video that shows the woman's
yeah,
corpse?
you got it.
That's been totally disproven. There's a
Yeah,
part
you're
of it that
talking
uses some
about,
graphics that came from a cover of a site.
Yeah, just look at the audience response.
Yeah,
Too. Like
eh?
everybody's bullshit meters were going off hardcore on that one. It's pretty much unanimous across the board.
There you go.
Have you guys seen? Have
Yeah,
you guys
music
seen
producer,
that?
okay, it's also something that we did.
Have you guys
Gary
seen that
McKinnon.
YouTube channel where it's the
Got over
guy
100
from
tracks.
Finland? He's got the name that's really impossible to pronounce, but he does all this stuff about. He talks about how the moon map, or something like the Google Mars map, is really. I don't know.
I know who you're talking about. Shit.
Yeah.
Shoot, I just saw him the other. John Lear was a fan of his actually, and they fought at one time, and then were buddies again.
Oh, this guy's pretty new.
He's actually over in England. The guy you're talking about.
Oh, really? But he's got a Finnish name. It's
Oh, he does?
Gosh, yeah. I haven't looked it up in a while, but he talks about cycles of history, about about how like maybe there's like this 400-year loop that we're in. He talks about actual about how instead of being in the year 2000, we're actually in the year 1000 because the Catholic Church added 1,000 years.
I don't know who that would be. And the guy's new. He films the moon a lot, you say? Or?
Yeah, well, no, he does these YouTube videos about the moon. Gosh, it's gonna come to me in a second
So
here.
not
The guy I'm thinking of, you'll never see his face. And Gary McKinnon knows who the guy I'm talking about because he's a fan of Gary McKinnon.
John Leonard Wilson.
Yes, John Lenore Walson's the guy I'm thinking of. Yep, you got it. He put. Remember when he went to John Lear's house and gave John that $10,000 freaking telescope? That was cool, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
All right, I'm at to have it for you here. I just remembered the keyword. It's crater Earth theory.
Okay.
That's what this guy's into, crater Earth theory, where he talks about how actually we are existing in a crater, and that outer space isn't out up there. It's out over there.
Sounds like the guy we were arguing with the other night here. Let me ask you something. So, what is the name of what? Okay, so if I go to YouTube, what do I type in again? Crater what?
So I'm looking for crater Earth theory. I'm searching
So it's
right
basically flat Earth, but you're in a crater instead of
crater Earth.
All right,
So he's into an inner Earth theory, interterrestrials, right?
As far as all of those go, mine is, I believe, in trash can Earth because it is both round and flat. So,
it's definitely a trash can.
Wait, motherfucker! We're about to scrap here. I believe in not trash can. What those trash things outside the grocery store? The four-sided bin, motherfucker. How is Earth not a four-sided bin with the two flip-up things, man? Come on, bitch. My people are gonna get your people pop, bitch.
Yeah, if somebody starts to say that kind of stuff, you gotta seriously be like, if that's the kind of crap that you were dealing with, Jeremy, that is some seriously next level stuff that none of us want to be any part of right.
Hey,
Yeah.
oh, nobody wants a part of what I've
There's other
been exposed
channels
to.
for
That's for
debating
sure.
the shape of the Earth. Here we're just, try to avoid that because in the end, it all just comes down to a trash can.
Right.
Yeah, by the way,
And
I think
whether
the
it's
audience has voted pretty
lit.
well and dismantled that entire audio clip that we just listened to about what sounded like a completely scripted bit of
totally
moon
scripted.
to Earth communication. So they pointed out, one, you have a major delay between communications from Earth to Moon. There's no reason that in an original audio clip it should have been sliced out to act as
Good point.
Number two, there was obviously a lack of spontaneity. It sounded very scripted.
Totally
there was
acted.
really a lack of surprise in the voice there, and even from what was allegedly the intercepted radio from ham operators, that sounded a lot more believable.
And
at the
regardless
time.
of that, there's no proof of where it came from. So if there's no
Right.
evidence for something,
But
you just have
even
to
more
discount it.
importantly, okay, so you can download from NASA directly a series of audio clips that contain that quintessential beep that we all heard, the thing that makes it try to sound like a genuine bit of footage, right? But what we lacked from that was, if you listen to the acoustics on the beep, there's a little bit of audio fluctuation as the atmosphere is mildly compressible, and there are tiny little eddies in thermodynamic currents that cause a slight frequency shift in the radio signal. So the carrier will actually cause that steady to go. It'll fluctuate a little bit, sort of like a vibrato from an opera singer, and you'll hear that in the beat.
So it has an
It's
audio
not as like a
signature.
continuous tone, right? We didn't hear that
cool.
in the voices. They were completely nice and smooth, no audio drift whatsoever, no fluctuations through the atmospheric transit. So that, I think, was the uncanny valley for me as a radio operator. It just didn't come through. And like I said, as a guy who's done a lot with the music industry and in music production and stuff like that, we didn't hear that right away. And I finally figured out that was the thing that was missing. It was the same audio fluctuation that I know was supposed to be there from atmospheric transmit.
Nice one. You've got the ear, man. The sensitive ear.
Well, the audience figured this out. I mean, there's like that. There's
I know what I
message
wanna
after
talk about real
message of
quick.
everybody else just tearing this thing to shreds. So I have to say, let's go with the masses here.
I got something I want to talk about, and everybody, I'm sure the people in here agree to talk about this for a second. Bernie, man, what is up with those carvings? That guy's coming on your channel. Is he trying to say they're alien carvings, right? I mean, that shit's worth billions if it's real, right? I mean, well, come on, what's going on, bro? Bernie?
I think he's offline.
Sorry, I'm just on the phone. I'll be right back. My bad.
Oh, okay. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? The guy that has those carvings and glow in the dark and shit that are on his
Oh,
channel?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, the guy that's been on now.
Yeah,
Bernie's
you
been
were on the
several
other night
times.
talking about. I mean, dude, what do you think? I mean, come on, man. If that shit was real,
That guy
bro.
paid a lot of money for a bunch of fakes, in my opinion.
Well, that's what I think too. He said that he put $500,000 into them so far, and that he can't go and see the stuff directly because the drug cartel wants him to come over because they know how much money he has, and they're just going to kidnap him and shit because he spent so much on it. And I was thinking they're probably behind it. But what do you think, dude? When they put the glow in the dark black light on there, and then all of a sudden the stuff comes back and it's just glowing like crazy. How the fuck would he do all that
I
shit?
think I've seen a lot of artifacts, and when I looked at that, my first thought was, gee, that looks exactly like modern stuff that we've been developing in the last 15 years. And
yeah,
the glow
like the
time
crystal
and
heads
the
and
color
shit.
of the luminescence is pretty much fucking flat on identical to precisely modern materials and glow in the dark paints that
So,
we embedded
but,
as powders.
There's a few things about that though, like with Mike's stuff at Alien Carvings there, that I really want to go down to Tula, Mexico, and actually check the place out, because there's actually a site that they've dug out, these giant caves that have the identical elongated, like identical craftsmanship, identical artists, underground caves that they're videoed pulling them all out of and excavating them out of. So it's like I really want to go check that out. And then he's willing to give us samples of his materials to get tested, because
that's how I know that Alien Carvings isn't lying.
Rock.
Alien Carvings for sure. That guy that's actually supporting and posting these videos, I know he's not lying. He genuinely offered it straight up. He believes
He said he spent $500,000 so far this past year, and that the drug cartels are going to kidnap him if he goes to the place where the shit is because they know how much money he has.
No,
So Tony, let me ask you a
I got an
question.
idea. I got an idea.
Do you believe this stuff for real? I mean, it's an incredible story, right?
I don't believe that it is what he thinks it is, but I believe that it is that he thinks it's genuinely exactly what he's saying.
So you think it's something modern targeted?
I'm not sold on it. He is, and he's offered us direct samples of these high value artifacts that apparently he paid a bunch of money for just for us to analyze them because he wants to be basically, tested out on this. He wants somebody to verify whether he spent a huge amount of money on something that was a dud or whether these are actually likely to be the real deal.
We got a
I
question.
gotta ask this question.
Super chat. Hold on though. What does Gary think about an ET presence on Earth?
They're here.
Yeah.
I can't believe Gary McKinnon's here. That's fucking great.
Yeah. I've met him for sure.
Gary, I've been watching you on TV on and off for the past 20 years, pissing the government off.
Right? Haven't we
Pissing
all?
me off seeing my face on TV too much.
Very
That's why I
smart
stopped
guy.
watching television.
I'll never forget when
Gary-
when television used to be good, it sucks now. They
Gary,
used to have some really good UFO programs on, but Jim Mars outed them years ago. Jim Mars had proof of the Roswell alien ghost, and they've had it on film. And the Discovery Channel refused to let them show it. It's a great story if you ever listen to it. The Roswell Alien Ghost, man, by Jim Mars. Jim's dead now. And they filmed this thing walking around. It literally was an alien ghost. It was walking around where the Roswell Army Hospital used to be that died in there. And they would go in and film it. The people said this place is haunted. There was this perfect green alien walking in through the place one night. And Jim Mars is like, oh my God, we have proof of ghosts and aliens right here. This is incredible and all this stuff. And the Discovery Channel owned the footage. Since they own the footage, they buried it and they'll never show it. I can pull the film up.
I thought the Discovery Channel loved light entertainment.
Yeah. And this one guy was on there, Chris Bledsoe, whether you believe him or not, I used to think he was a total fraud, right? But check this out. Chris Bledsoe was led to be a fraud by me because when the Discovery Channel did his lie detector test, they just said he was a total liar. He didn't pass anything he said, blah, 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 blah,
Lie
blah,
detector
right?
tests were not admissible in court because they're so fucking unreliable.
Yeah, they set him up. They set him up because, dude, there's been so many people that have been with this guy now, and all these orbs show up, and like if you have cancer or something, it goes away. It heals people. It's crazy because they're saying that some of these orbs are healing and all this shit.
I know one person that was legitimately healed by alien abduction.
But what I'm saying is, have they ever tried to fuck you over in any type of way, Gary?
I've only had one strange. Discovery Channel.
Because they own everything now. They own the History Channel. They own it fucking all, bro. It's a blanket ownership of all those channels, man.
No,
so you
on,
might think you're not on the Discovery Channel, and you are.
And the last time I was on Ancient Aliens, they didn't tell me they'd do this, but when it finally aired, they said some people say Gary McKinnon is lying, and they never even.
Yeah. I know they've led the crowd to believe that you were lying a number of times on the show. I didn't want to.
That sort of disclaimer, you could be like, some people say the Queen of England was a lizard person.
Yeah. The thing is, people that are smart enough that can see through this know that for one, the fucking assholes running the show don't know dick. They don't know anything at all. They don't know anything about ufology. I forgot more than they'll ever know. They don't know anything. And once you start to understand that they're just like the mainstream media, but they're in ufology, bro. Everything, your mind starts to open up because all you got to do is watch them and see what they're talking shit about. You know, it's true. It's amazing how that works, right?
I've got a story about the Discovery Channel because I used to work for them.
Tell it. I was on there. I used to be on their Master's Unexplained Files show with Edgar Fouché. And I swear that all they did was interview him and I for 10 hours straight to find out what we knew.
And then just cherry pick certain clips.
They tried to run me off the fucking road when my nephew was drunk.
Oh, really?
Down around D.C. Yeah, I live near D.C. Yes, sir.
Holy shit, you're not the only person that worked with big TV production media networks and also had the serious shit threatened against.
They were going to kill me, man. It's no big deal. I was just like, hey, fuck you. Okay.
Yeah. You got to take a stand against those motherfuckers and put them on notice that they're not going to run your life. But
well, when you have nothing, it doesn't fucking matter. I've lost I don't
Right.
have a wife. I don't have, rookie
Right.
shit. All she does is complain anyway. Fuck it, I don't have. Although I met this great chick on Bernie's show the other night, and I thought she was some kind of weird bot. Her and I are going to go out on a date. She lives in my town. She's my age.
Crypto Alchemist Dating Agency.
Come on, Bernie. I was talking
Bernie,
to her. I talked to her for like 17 hours straight. I'm like, listen, do you ever go to bed? I'm like, I gotta go to bed. I didn't go to work today. It's like,
damn, dude, Bernie, hit me up. Hook me up.
I
Holy
thought
crap.
she was a bot. I'm like, listen, there's no way you're real. There's no way you're from York, Pennsylvania. There's just no fucking way. And then she sent me her phone number on your show, and I called and I was like, oh my God, you are real. She's a pretty blonde-haired chick, man, but
wow.
we know a bunch of the same people. It's really strange. So
Wow, that's rad, dude. That's fate right there.
well, that's what I said. I said, let me ask you something. How is it possible we meet on a guy's channel? We're both in York, Pennsylvania. And I said, we're on a guy in the fucking Canadian Rockies channel. What the fuck's that all about at fucking midnight?
Or she's an assassin.
Okay, so I have
I
to
know,
bring
she's gonna
this
kill
up.
me.
She's
And,
an
like,
assassin.
I've also actually met people from like Calgary where I live that have like given me actually like day jobs, like some work and stuff off of YouTube too. And it's like then I go in and I look at my numbers and it's like they claim there's like, oh, only 2 people ever watching from this city or 2 people from this city.
It's
And it's
all
like
foreign,
really
right?
there's hundreds like or thousands all over. It's just ridiculous, the censorship.
Bernie,
but-
you're so shadow banned because you're with Jeremy now. Here's what's up. There'll be 150 people watching. Or no, how is that? Hold on a minute here. You will have like, I don't know, 25 likes. And how does that work?
Press the like button.
I forget what the correlation is. Hold on a minute.
But you know what? I've worked in internet marketing since 2014, my own company.
Oh, yeah.
And your likes, your click-through rate is generally about 5%. So it's totally
Yeah, you'll have more likes.
5%. Wow. Crazy.
Yeah. You'll have more likes than people that have seen your show. It'll have like 10 views, but you'll have 50 likes. That's one of the things.
Yeah.
I saw that on your fucking show. I'm like, he's fucking shadow banned, man. What did you do? It's gotta be Jeremy.
You share 65% of your DNA with a banana.
It's gotta be Jeremy.
Yeah, it's got to be 98.7.
Hey, let me show you my Discovery Channel story here. So
oh yeah.
All right, so check this out. So I worked on a lot of Discovery Channel shows, Monster Garage, Biker Build Off, my big show.
Bro.
Yeah. He's a friend of mine. So old friend of mine, but I worked on this show called Deadliest Catch. Which was like,
it's the fucking goddamn crab show.
Yeah, that was like one of the
I've
big
got
shows
Bering
I worked
Seagull
on.
on right now. Have you ever worked on that show?
I haven't. My friends have though, for sure.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I worked on the TV show, and then I also so on the TV show I did I worked on the pre-production. I bought all of the camera equipment for the show, and I signed multi-million-dollar checks and stuff, and I designed all of the waterproof housings for all of like the 8 boats.
Yeah, for handling that massive, like extremely
like all the salt water
and
just
salt water
and ice and stuff. It was really brutal. Like I worked with this guy who.
Can I ask you what years you did this?
Oh, this was like 10 years ago. So
okay, you were back when Keith Coburn and all them were young and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, Keith,
I know a couple of those guys actually. But go ahead.
Dude, they're great people, man. A lot of good people, man.
I knew
out there,
Keith
but,
long before he was on that show. But go ahead.
Yeah, he's got a temper, man, boy. But yeah. So one day I was out in Alaska in Dutch Harbor. And the boats had just shipped off, and I was working on the island for this period of time. And I walk into the production office, and my production manager, who's like kind of everybody's boss, she's on the phone with somebody, and she's saying, "So what happened? So how many people died? 5 people died? Man, that's gonna be great for ratings."
Yeah, that's what they say. Well, the boat tipped over right back then.
Yeah, and
there's only been a few. The Akiska
that's some soulless
dropped
shit.
over
Right?
last year, but go ahead. Akiska Bay, 2 years ago.
Right. Wow, really? Well, the thing that's crazy is that she said yeah, this is going to be great for ratings. And you know what? She was right. I won an
That's
Emmy for
remarkable.
that episode that I worked on. And
That
she was
happened
right.
in 2007, I
The
believe.
only
That was
thing
one of their
more
first
popular than
Yes.
love is
couple
death.
of years. I can look it up because they've only had a few. Listen, the last time a boat rolled was 3 years ago, and Monty Coburn lost it. Remember, was getting drunk on the boat and crying and said he couldn't
Oh,
go through it anymore because his best friend Gary rolled that boat over. Then rolled over. They left the door open in the bottom, and the waves were coming in, and it's filling the bottom of the boat up, and the pump's not coming on to pump the fucking water out. And this boat, it just starts tilting sideways. What happens is all
oh,
of a sudden it just
fuck. Dude.
completely flips over all at once, and they all died. It was, I think, 15 of them.
Dude,
And they were not far from him. And check this out. You probably know this by now. Back when you were doing that, they didn't have a follow boat, right? Or did they? Now they have follow
they
boats.
just
Boats
started
that
doing
follow
that.
the other
Yeah,
boat when they're filming,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's my friend started that. Yeah.
And that's a really good idea because that way, if they have a major problem, they can jump on that boat. And that's happened already where they've jumped ship onto the other boat, getting a life raft. That Bering Sea.
Dude, I did the Coast Guard training to get in your survival suits and throw off the self-inflating raft. And dude, I've never realized how fucked I was gonna be when I did that.
Can I ask
Like,
you what captains you were on, or?
oh, I was out with Sig Hansen.
Oh, Sig's great. The Hansen brothers I mean, the Hansen. Well, the one Hansen boy quit. His brother quit. There's two brothers on the show. They don't show the one. The Skinner quit.
Well, there's three brothers, really.
Yeah, three of them. And then the Hillstrands, one of them quit and came back. Yeah,
those guys like that party, I hear.
Yeah, well, dude, you've been on with some really good people. The Hillstrands are top of the line. They're or not finished. They're what are they? They're
well, Sig is
Norwegians. Yeah, they're Norwegians. Now his daughter's gonna be taking the boat over. His daughter reminds me of a tall white alien, dude. She looks just like that, bro. She does.
Hey, man, you never know. You never know.
So let me ask you something. How did you get involved? Like, dude, how on earth did you get sea legs, man? You go up there and you're holding a camera. Are you a camera guy?
Yeah. I'm a
These
cinematographer
boats
by
are going like
trade.
this, man. They have 20, 30, 40 foot waves. And the cameramen have not gotten their legs under them, and some of them like vomit all over the place. You come
dude,
out and start filming this shit. How do you do it, man?
Well, I was seasick for 3 days straight, and I knew I had heard that if you're seasick for over 72 hours, that you might die, and that because there are some people that never get over being seasick.
Yes.
And so at 72 hours, so my rule at that time, because I've filmed all over the world with all kinds of people. My rule is I pick one person who I'm gonna trust, and if they look like they've got shit under control, I'm gonna have shit under control. But if they look like they're freaking out, I'm gonna freak out.
So what happened?
So at 72 hours, I looked at Sig and I said, "Look, man, I've been puking for 72 hours. Am I gonna get better?" And he looked at me like he was scared.
Yeah,
And,
guarantee he was at 72
and I was like,
hours.
"Fuck, dude!" But you know what? An hour later, all of a sudden, I felt like eating a popsicle.
Yeah, your equilibrium straightened out. So what happened?
Yeah, I knew that I was good at that point. So after that, I was good for weeks.
I can't believe you're on Sig's boat, man. I met Sig one time. The funny thing about meeting Sig was I thought he was tall like me. He's fucking short.
He is.
He's not that tall, man, at all. I thought he was real tall and she's a short guy, man.
No.
What's short in America? Because everything's big in America, isn't it?
Well, I'm under 6 feet, I'll say. I'm well over 6. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny is that one time I was up in the wheelhouse with him, and he threw out this Pepsi can out the window.
Jeremy.
And I was just like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?" And he just looked at me like I was so dumb. And I was like, "Dude, what?" And I was like, "Dude, there's no trash can." He was like, "Jeremy, let me explain to you how fucking dirty the ocean is and how all of this shit works." And he proceeded to explain to me all of where all the trash goes and where all our trash from the cities go and all that stuff. And I was like, "Oh."
They're real conscientious about the environment.
Man, even before all our dirt was in the ocean, it's still very dirty, bacteria-wise.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Gary.
They
That's
do
what
a
I'm
lot of
saying, there's lots
fireworks,
of
don't they,
bacteria in
too,
the sea
Jeremy?
anyway.
Sorry about that, Gary. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just saying there's lots of bacteria in the sea anyway, even before it was polluted.
It's funny you said that.
Yeah,
1 year
not
ago,
to mention just
1
the
year
salt
ago on
water
most
film
of the
of
day,
the aluminum can will just like dissolve down through, erode through the salt water and like turn into monoatomics pretty much.
Well, I do want to get. I want to get to what Solar is talking about in terms of how these cans are going to erode. I want to get to what Jeremy's talking about. That was a follow up to what the story was. He was already telling, but let me just toss another one in there for the sake of distraction, since we're
but
so good
what
at
was I
chasing
on and we
squirrels.
forgot? What was I on? We forgot exotics, Jeremiah.
Well, you had mentioned, you were going to talk about what happens to the can, even though it was tossed to the side like litter. And Jeremy was going to go on using the story about somebody littering out of his vehicle as a catalyst to the next point. But I wanted to disrupt that and even add a third one, which is, I was driving along in my little Ford Escort. When
One
I was
of the
younger. This is
problems
after
with
I got
you,
my driving
Jeremiah,
license.
is you're so fucking smart that if one more person out in that crowd tells me when I have a fucking 102 fever, I had COVID this week. I was deliriously sick the other night when I was on here and I didn't even know it. I had a high 103 fever, man. I was like, holy fuck. So, anyways, if one more person out in that crowd talks shit, I'm just gonna start blocking them on the fucking thing. They were saying that I'm drunk and shit, and I'm dressed. They said that I was sitting here guzzling a fucking fifth of Jack Daniels. It was a fucking bottle of soda. Like, look how much Jack Daniels that guy's fucking guzzling.
The same trolls said that
these people don't even drink.
Dude, the same trolls said that that Jeremy Riss, alien scientist, was high as hell, and I'm sure they talk trash about me too. And some guy was like, "Yeah, music producer."
I am high as hell on marijuana, but that's all I do. And
snort my marijuana.
And see, I would have never caught that. I would never caught that.
Yeah, this is a part of the social side that Jeremy, luckily, you don't have to deal with. You're cognitively not wasting any time trying to process or analyze that stuff that we kind of notice, because each of us, we have our own PR campaign.
Hey, I want to do something here. I want to give it up for the man wanted by fucking Joe Biden right now, Gary McKinnon, folks.
Oh, yes.
Gary McKinnon is
back to the story, and then we'll proceed.
Regimes in a row.
So I was driving around with two other people. One of the people that I had in the back seat, they decided to throw out a soda can, a little can of Coca-Cola, out my window, and thought that was perfectly fine at the stoplight right as we were about to take off. So light turns green. They toss the can. I accelerate. I hear the can hit the ground. I slam on my brakes. I said, "Who the fuck just threw that?" "What are you talking about?" I said, "Right side. I heard a can hit that ground. And I'm not stupid. You're going to go outside and pick that son of a bitch up, or we're not moving."
Too right.
I said, "I will wait here until the fucking squad car pulls up, because I have to pay out of my pocket as a taxpayer working a job for somebody to come and collect that thing. And you're making my life more expensive. So you're going to go out and pick that up right now, or we're not moving."
Too right.
I'm getting a picture of me and Gary McKinnon together.
So the Martian, you're sniffing a lot. You're the Martian powder.
Right there. It's me and fucking Gary McKinnon, bro. We don't fuck around.
Hey, me too, man.
Gary, do you still do any coding or hacking or anything like that?
Shit.
Not hacking.
Gary.
My mum would
Oh,
kill
fucking
me.
filming us. I wanted to take a picture. Hold on a minute.
I'm
Gary.
sorry.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, that was better. Yeah, I'm filming our asses. Hold on.
Coding, yeah.
Good, Gary.
That's pretty cool.
Gary, go ahead. Devil horns right here, bro.
Peace.
Yeah, everybody. I got us all. Jeremiah
Hell
jumped
yeah,
in.
bro.
Holy shit. Bernie's in this motherfucker. Bernie in the house. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, folks.
Just take a screenshot, man.
Oh, there we go. One legendary panel. I'm going to quickly step out for a cigarette, and then when I get back, I would love to talk with Gary and Jeremiah about the current experiments that you guys have been working on and posting.
I've had some stuff.
Yeah. Gary, I have something.
There's always science happening here in this lab.
Real quick. Hold on a minute there, Jeremiah.
Solo, I've got a question for you. You're sniffing a lot. You've been on the Martian powder?
Oh shit!
No, he's drilling
All right, give me one pose.
every now and then I
pose for the photograph, everyone. All right, 3, 2, 1.
And then I hit this Martian powder. You know what I mean? Oh, look at you! I don't have my phone.
All right, cool. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so Gary, what did that ship look like, bro? That you saw? What did it look like?
Cylinder with rounded ends and domes that look like golf balls.
Domes that look like golf balls. So let me ask you something. These domes.
A radar array.
could whoever was inside of it look out of it and see space, or what are we talking about here? Or the sky if they were in it?
This was solid white, silvery white. No windows, no transparency, no.
Because I never seen any images that you drew or anything, and I thought he doesn't want to because it's
been a couple.
You gotta get hooked up with a dude like Mark McCandlish. I know he
Mark's
is dead, but get hooked up with someone like him.
I know Michael Stratt. He's the best artist around. He would be able to be the best friend.
There you go.
Let me show you, Michael.
He's stating that it's looked more like one of those radar domes.
Unfortunately, we only started emailing shortly before he died.
Oh, you got the actual hard copy.
Somebody earlier was asking for some of Michael's drawings. Check this
Secret
shit
sauce.
out.
All right.
Wait. So I didn't know that. I thought he hired somebody to do those drawings.
No, dude, he was the artist.
Really?
Dude,
He is
that guy,
super.
you're looking
He's
at
super
his
fucking
brush strokes
talented.
on these pages. Like he was the guy that
This is
hand
a real
drew the
tic-tac
outlines
that
and
was
painted them
seen.
in.
So he listens to somebody's description and then draws
they
it from his
draw.
mind.
Literally, yep.
This was a real tic-tac
McCandlish was
thing
better.
here.
McCandlish actually read the
From the
technical
Navy in the
descriptions
60s.
from the Navy, from the military, and based on the technical descriptions alone,
the
they
shit
didn't even
out
give
of
him pictures. He
Dude.
would draw these things for magazines. That's how
Man,
I've got some really cool
he's hot
videos.
shit, dude. I since we're still live, I'll keep it PG, but I'll bet he's got no problem with the ladies.
He is now that he's
Mike's
dead.
never been laid. What are you talking about?
He's been laid to rest.
He doesn't pick women up.
Rest
Michael doesn't have
in
that kind of.
peace.
He doesn't know how to even talk to his wife.
He had a
Everybody
girlfriend at
knows
the
that.
time. He had a girlfriend at the time, and rumor around the street
gave her all
was
the
that
fucking money,
they didn't get
remember?
along very well.
Oh man.
Ran
That's-
off.
see, that's
Also,
what sucks, man.
have you ever noticed that once someone is
Poor
onto
little
something,
boy.
they suddenly get a new girlfriend and then everything goes to shit?
Oh fuck
Yeah, I mean, dude,
Oh
when you're
fuck
paying a
yeah.
Puerto Rican prostitute, she's not really your girlfriend.
Like John Hutchins, I love him to death. We were in email contact for about 20 years.
Nancy.
I like a bitch that likes to party for 3 days.
Uh-huh.
You know? What's that?
Nothing.
Dude,
Gary likes to
that's
party
the
with
story
ladies.
of my life, man. I was doing real good with my film work, living in LA, and then I got with the wrong girl, and my
That's the
everything went
trouble,
to
isn't
shit.
it? Your mum
Her name
says to you, you've got
Amber
to
Heard.
find a good woman, but
Amber
all you
Heard,
want
by
is
the
two
way.
bad ones, you know?
You're out in Hollywood. Her name Amber Heard. Look out for her. She fucks all kind of people. And she was a Johnny Depp. She killed his dog.
Sometimes it's not even the personality. Sometimes it's the timing. You look at when somebody shows up.
Johnny
and
Depp said she smelled just like dog shit when she took her underwear off. I
Yeah,
threw up.
that's how
Andrew
you know
Askins,
she's
how
been
you
with
doing
other
tonight, bro?
guys.
You're smoking
Hey,
that
man,
fat cigar
good to
there.
hear from you.
Sweet.
Yeah. I would offer you one, but you're on the other side of the pond, so.
Mike
Yeah.
Stratt did this
What's up?
book.
What's
You
up?
can order it. It's called The Dark Files. You can order it from Amazon. This book here will cost you. It's very expensive. He'll autograph it, but it's worth it because he puts all these colored. Where do you get a book that's got colored photo pictures in
Right.
it anymore? You
That
don't.
that,
Okay.
that took a
It's
lot of
great.
money.
Fucking, they don't print shit in China like that, right? Okay.
Mm-mm.
This book was like $60. It's well worth it. I got the Area 51 books from his friend
man.
over
I
there.
just bought that They All Told the Truth for 60 quid. Yeah. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
they
it on
do tell
Jeremy's
the
show
truth
the
for
other
50
night.
quid. And for 90, she'll stay the night. So, anyways,
Man, dude, you are raunchy.
yeah. Well, hold on, man. Let me tell her to shut up. Shut the fuck up back there. Okay.
Seriously, like
She's
this
all
is
didn't
fucked
like
realize
up.
this was
freaking
stand-up
really
comedy
old
tonight.
raunchy western with
Let me bang another one out.
rated R.
He's having a line on cam, man. What the fuck?
Well, Solar has never been one to be known for holding back his opinions, his words, or his thoughts.
That's
Solar
like that
Man,
guy
I
the
love
other
you
night was
already.
saying about me drinking. I'm like, I wanted to say, don't you ever insult me with the fucking word drinking. I don't drink anymore. Jeremy and me hook up in York, PA. We roll out of here to West Virginia, go meet Michael Stratt. We get down the road about a half a mile. Jeremy pulls the biggest bag of marijuana out I ever see in my life for personal. This fucking bag of weed was that tall and this wide. He's got a subscription or whatever the fuck you call it, right? I'm like, holy fuck, man! I'm looking at
Subscription.
are falling out onto the floor, and I'm driving Ed Foucher's old Cadillac, right? We're rolling down the fucking road and shit like that. I'm like, we ain't never gonna make it to West Virginia. We're gonna be so fucked. We get down there. Here comes little Michael Stratt, right? Michael Schratt weighs about 14 pounds. I'm like, what the fuck? I never met him before, right? He comes walking around the corner, hey guys, and he's this thin, dude. And I looked over at Jeremy, and Jeremy looked at me and shit. And I'm like, oh, hey, Michael, and shit. And I went to hug him and almost broke every fucking bone in his fucking body, right? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. So Michael doesn't want to come sit at the bar. He's like scared of all the construction workers at the bar. I said, dude, I'm looking for a fight. Shut the fuck up and sit down over there. So he comes over and
You could have just stood to the side for 5 minutes and waited for the wind to blow, and he would have just, flown up like a little leaf.
They ordered 2 large pizzas from the bar. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean?
Or if you looked like a
here?
lion,
So
you could have
we were
snorted him.
drinking down there, but Jeremy was
14
drinking.
pounds, he
But
says.
Michael Schratt is very, very clueless on life, guys. He just doesn't have a fucking clue what's going on.
Dude, that was funny.
He
I'll be honest.
believes anything
Yeah,
you
but
tell him.
you know what, Solo? We're all clueless if we're in a different environment.
Yeah, I don't really know hardly anything about Michael Schratt, but I do know that was funny as hell.
Well, Jeremy and me got in the hallway finally after Michael had gone to his room, and I looked at Jeremy, and Jeremy looked at me. I said, "Dude," he goes, "Is he an alien?" I said, "Dude, I think the same thing. I think the motherfucker's an extraterrestrial." I said, "There's no way that guy's fucking real. No fucking way." And to this day, I wonder. You know what he did? This is no lie. So we went to this goddamn library that was dedicated to some guy that was a goddamn child molester, for Christ's sakes.
Jeez.
We couldn't believe that was the truth once we got down there. I'm like, Jeremy, this guy's a fucking convicted child molester that we're fucking researching. He was into UFOs. His name was Gray Barker, right? Michael printed out and Xeroxed 1,800 to 2,500 fucking pages on this guy in the fucking copier machine. Had 2 people help him from the fucking library, paid him all big money. You should have seen the money. Look like a drug deal going on, right? I'm like, I can't believe this. So Michael hands him like another 1,000. That guy leaves and comes back. You know what he did? He had to go to a goddamn Staples. He bought every toner cartridge in the whole fucking building because Michael kept running out of fucking ink, dude. This was going on for 3 days. He kept printing all this shit out, all these UFO stories and stuff. He prints them out and talks about them as they're real. It's really bizarre. But man,
What a maniac.
I never seen anybody spend. Michael spent, I think he said $3,500 that weekend just on toner ink. And he didn't know if any of the stories were real or not. It didn't even matter. So I said to him, I said, Michael, let me ask you a question. Where do you store all this shit that you have, right? Because he said, this is all I do, Dan, is fly around on the weekend in planes. He goes and go to places that have stuff about UFOs and pray for their fucking ink cartridges and then pay somebody to Xerox copy shit. I said, okay, let me ask you something. What's going on, dude? Are you okay? And he's like, yeah. He goes, he says, I spent about $3,000 or $4,000 a week doing this. He goes, every bit of my savings goes to this. I'm totally broke. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So then he goes, I have 3 warehouses, not garages. 3 warehouses, storage warehouses in California filled to the top from the bottom to the top with UFO stories, dude.
All right, so Solar, I'm talking to you as a
know the world is digital now.
Old tractor trailers.
Whatever you do, never tell him about cocaine. All right, please.
Who? Michael Schratt? No.
Yeah.
No, I won't. No, because he'll never
boy.
come around again. I told him about Fenny, though. He knows about Fenny. He's like, what the fuck's Fenny? I said, fentanyl, man. That should have really fucked you up. But,
Hey, Solar.
Yeah.
Sorry to interject. Do you remember
okay,
last time I was on here and we talked about that Amazon documentary called Accidental Disclosure or something like that?
I posted a couple of videos to watch. If you remind me which one it was, I'll gladly take a look. What's going on?
No, it was one I recommended it to you. I was wondering if you got a chance to look at it. It's where they get some of these guys, that exited the military to kind of like inadvertently admit that they're part of a campaign.
And it was accidental disclosure, right? I know I watched it because I remember going from this to my computer, to my TV, and sitting here watching it. That was a couple of weeks ago.
What, like a disinfo campaign or
accidental disclosure? It was actually really good.
Yeah.
And the guys that were in it, because I remember Above Majestic came on right afterwards. Ex-CIA shows UFOs before and after cloaked. Is that the one that they were showing that when NASA would go up into space, each time it would come back, it would bring back a clear sphere that they couldn't see the son of a bitch. And then they would go to this remote viewer's house and show him pictures and stuff and say, why is this door 9 feet tall and stuff? And they found out a way to look at these crafts that were clear. Is that the same show?
No, that's different, but that's an interesting subject, you know.
Yeah, dude, they were going and bringing back these pictures of these spheres, and they found a way to put light on these spheres, Gary. They couldn't see what these spheres were, but they could catch them on radar. They'd been following back, and he actually talked about it. I looked it up. They've been following that little fucker back that's now running the world, Elon Musk. They've been following him back, Gary. And these clear spheres fly back, right? When these clear spheres fly back, dude, this is totally crazy. They change the light parameter on or whatever light they're using. All of a sudden, they'll shine a light on it. They can see it, and then they'll start flashing all these pictures, man. I forget how many frames per second. And these doors are 9 feet because there's ETs back there. That must be, the doors are 12 feet because the ETs must be 9 feet tall. You know what I mean? And then they were showing it to this remote viewer. It was really interesting.
Have you guys ever tried remote viewing? Has anyone in here tried remote viewing?
I never was successful.
I've tried it. Yeah, I've tried it. I've
Same here,
I've
I've
had some
tried
good
it.
experiences with it. Yeah.
Have you guys been able to do it? Because you would be the type.
Yeah. No,
I've
done any like training?
Years.
Well,
I don't believe in being out of your body. The consciousness isn't tied to the body. It's totally separate.
You really got to concentrate. I had a friend that was one of the best. He was really good friends with Pat Price, Warren York, and Exotic Propulsion has Warren York. Pat Price is the one that remote viewed the alien base, and there is an alien base in Alaska in the mountain chain known as what is the name of that giant mountain up there?
Yeah, it's a pyramid mountain. It looks like a giant pyramid. I've
in Alaska, not Antarctica.
Yeah, I know Alaska. There's a
Mount Hayes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mount Hayes.
John goes up there with another guy and starts filming Mount Hayes, dude. And they're looking, and all of a sudden this UFO flies up, and it's flying across the top of Mount Hayes. And Mount Hayes is so
I
tall.
believe that's also right where they shot down one of those supposed balloon drone.
You're fucking right. Mount Hayes is 10 miles away from where they shot down that that UFO that they won't speak about. Yes. The other UFO went through the earth, dude. The one I'm talking about right now went boom and shot straight through the earth, and it left this big circular thing that the TV cameras went and filmed. It's there, this big circular, there's just 8 foot of snow.
Really? So that could potentially be what these supposed sinkholes are, would be where the UFO went down through.
Or very
talking about the sinkholes in Siberia, right? That gigantic ones just form out of nowhere. Yeah, there's
like Mel's Hole.
Like, where does all of that mass just go? That actually kind of makes sense for it if it's this like deconstructing like field or energy, whatever.
They're perfect cylinders, no?
And the mass is literally displaced orthogonally as it moves through the solid material.
Or how about this, Bern? Maybe, just maybe, there's spaceships hiding in that portion of the Earth, and when it's time for them to, after they're done their inspection and their service is done to their fucking UFO, right? They take off out of that portion of the Earth, bro. To Siberia, there's no one up there.
And they don't have to go through any of the laws of our physics. Like they can traverse through water, they can traverse through mountains. They don't give a fuck about what we think matter is. They just roll through whatever.
Yep.
I think Antarctica has a lot going on. We will never know because we won't live there.
It's the key to the missing humanity or off-world or extra whatever the heck, maybe inner Earth. The whole Admiral Byrd's legends are true, but it's not just Admiral Byrd. There's the Norwegian stories. There's
Admiral Byrd and his brother, man. I was just watching this earlier before I came in. That's crazy you said that, but right here's Byrd and his brother, for Christ's sakes, talking about all of it.
Yeah, he got clipped.
Admiral Byrd said his story was fiction. He said in an interview.
Oh
yeah.
Did they force him to
I think it was discovered
they
by
forced
his son.
that. They forced that.
Well,
yeah.
no. So supposed
I
diamond.
mean,
you guys
our
believe in
girlfriends aren't fat too,
shapeshifters?
right?
Do you guys believe in shapeshifters?
Oh
Well,
yeah, hell
Yeah.
yeah.
right. That's a whole other different.
Absolutely, Noel. I believe in shapeshifters. Why? What's
Well,
up? Have you seen
I'm
one?
I'm bringing up this topic because if we
I've
were to
gained
say
30
there
pounds
are
over the past year.
aliens,
I'm a shapeshifter. Good.
I mean that's kind of cool if you are, but
Yeah, I'm a shapeshifter. I would say that.
but if aliens, can exist while we exist, what if they're the shapeshifters? And when something crashes, they clean up their own mess. It's but to us, we perceive them as humans, but really they're not. And so
But
whenever
that's
we try to
actually a good point.
get
Potentially, that
information,
Men in Black
like
could
when
be
we
the
try to
alien.
get information, even authorities get stumped, on the information because it might,
Yeah.
to us, it seems like a department or
I
some
think
secret.
if all matter is an expression of frequency, then any shape can be taken. And there's a lot of doubt thrown upon even our own existence and simulation theory, etc.
I would humans are dirty,
we live in.
and I think it's possible that aliens do not want to get near us because we are so filthy they could probably die from the filth coming off us. We
Exposure.
are dirty. We really are.
Oh
I don't
fuck
give a
yeah,
fuck if you take
we
10
are
baths a day. We're filthy
disgusting.
people.
And even if you think about the most clean person
They're
maybe it's
dirty.
yourself, maybe it's maybe not, but they are still fucking dirty. And then when you think about the dirtiest person you've ever met, holy good effing whoa.
That'll be sold as $90 girl.
What'd you say, Gary?
That'll be sold as $90 girl, the dirtiest person you've ever met.
Yeah, I mean, I
Just day
think
and
that
night.
we are so dirty to them, and we're not dirty. To us, we're not. But I mean, like, we could probably kill them with a disease that we get. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, best believe for sure.
Yeah,
think
they're
there's-
releasing
there's something wrong with
experimental
that
gene-edited pigs on themselves. We don't need to contaminate with that.
Well, there's something going on with Bigfoot
Dude,
too.
we're pigs. We
That's
are
like
pigs
we're a species
on
with
the
herp or
farm,
something.
man. Dude, we're
Well,
pigs
I
on the
would-
farm. You ever hear that story about how
We are
pigs are actually an old tribe of humans that were turned into pigs by a wizard? You ever hear that? Because pigs.
That's
It couldn't get any more ridiculous. He upped the ante. I literally thought, okay, we've hit the echelon of how far out we can
But
get with this
no.
ridiculousness. But then no, Jeremy raises it a bar to the point where none of us could have ever predicted that one. It
Hey,
really
man.
is. I
Jeremy's
think
at the bar right
Are
now.
a lost tribe of Israel. That is why they cannot eat pork. It is
What's
not
Jeremy
kosher
doing at the
because-
bar?
This is why at the old Jewish deli that I worked at, they did sell pork, which is why do Jewish people that own a deli sell pork? I don't really get that.
Because
Poison the
pork's
non-believers.
There
People
you
love
go.
money,
But for real, I have heard that all pigs were at one time humans,
Just
and
like
a
dolphins.
wizard
Money's
or
dirty as fuck, and they'll put
magician
that shit in their pants and in their underwear.
turned the humans into pigs, which is why the pigs are the most intelligent
pig, so.
mammal.
I really
Okay,
believe
well,
that we are so inferior to ETs that they
heck
just
yeah.
don't want anything to do with us because we're just so annoying to them. It's especially some asshole.
Yeah, but they're
like
jealous
me.
because we have emotions and feelings and crazy
Right.
experiences.
I mean,
Yeah,
think
because
about
they don't
someone
have
like me.
emotions. They don't
Well,
have
that's
emotions
what I
like
was
we
ideas,
do.
I mean, if you guys doom
here
our
partying
species
and shit,
as
having a great
worthless,
time.
then why do they
Smoking
come
hoes.
here?
I guess I would ask if the
we're
anthology of
calm.
that story about pigs and wizards
They're
predates
connected
the
to us,
original
probably.
publication of the story Charlotte's Web.
Hey, Newell, aren't
I
you
can't be
a,
sure of that.
aren't
I
you a
can't be
remote
sure of
viewer
that.
or something? I think you said you were remote. Were you a remote viewer?
We're
I
also
can't
in the wild. Aliens could be future
It
us.
comes and goes. Yeah, I
You're
mean,
into UFOs and aliens, though, right? You believes what I'm getting into. You're a believer just like me, right?
it's not that I only believe. I've seen, I've experienced. So it's not just a
Well,
belief.
that's right. You're an experience.
Like I've actually
Didn't I talked to you
physically
last time you were on
experienced
AIM?
connection.
Yeah,
No,
you're really
I've
cool.
seen.
Yeah, just remember, she's showing us as an audience 3 different times on our personal request as an audience to go outside and film these things, which she did all 3 times.
Listen, they
I
like it
remember
here
she
when
was
the
really
state
cool,
of
and I
mind-
enjoy her name. It's Nawal Sajari, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm an experiencer as well.
I
Who
mean,
is
listen,
Jeremy?
they appear when
Who
there's
is?
a coherent state of a bunch of people talking about the same subject. You know, like it creates a connection.
Energy.
An egregore.
So it's like they appear when believers are there. You know, I
I'm
mean,
going to
like
say something. I hope it doesn't
There's a
offend
bunch of
anybody.
believers
But
right now.
yeah.
I want to say something here, and I hope it don't offend anybody. But I'm a realist about this kind of shit. Why don't UFOs and why don't ETs abduct black people?
Oh snap! That's some real shit
I'm
right
dead
there.
serious. They don't.
Well, they
They think
do.
we're fucking
Jim
crazy.
Buffy Hill.
I
How
have
do you
this
know?
argument at work a
Whichever.
lot. They don't
Yeah, but
abduct
the
black
Hill
people.
thing is
I
all
don't
bullshit,
believe
though.
that's
That's all
accurate.
CIA mind control.
Oh,
Barney Hill
what
thing,
happened
they
with the
don't
black
believe that
guy and that
shit.
one white chick?
Black
Back in
people
the
don't believe
50s?
anything about Barney Hill.
Plenty of, or have
Huh?
I?
I'm
There's
just
a
asking you
story.
guys what you think because the black people I know are like,
Maybe white
Why
media
was-
only interviews white people. What about
Yeah,
that?
well, why
Here's a
why
question.
didn't the Wu-Tang
Right
Clan
now,
get abducted by aliens?
Let-
Why didn't the Wu-Tang
Let's give
Clan
a
get
little
left
Google search
alone?
right now. Actually,
Have you guys done the
What about
Stephen
Jay-Z?
Greer app?
Jay-Z has been trying to been open to aliens for years, and they did not abduct him. Are they racist?
Maybe they did.
well,
Maybe they did.
something's going on there. You got to think about that. Something's up.
The Wu-Tang Clan wants to know.
Maybe.
Have you guys
I don't
tried
know.
the Stephen Greer app? The one that.
Yeah, but Stephen Greer and Bob Lazar are the same person. They just wear different hair pieces at different
Dude,
times.
all right, I'm saying this on live,
I
on
have
live
not
stream
tried the
because
app,
I'm probably
but
I'm trying to risk my life here right now saying this, but
Don't do that.
Stephen Greer allegedly, maybe, possibly, allegedly, an
You know, your hand
reptilian.
over your mouth doesn't.
Stephen
He
Greer
definitely-
is
All
like
right,
a
let's
good
get this
person.
straight.
he does kind of look
Spit
like
it out.
Maybe allegedly
there
a
was-
reptilian, and that's not
I
me
would
saying
say-
this.
Tried to
I'm
penetrate
just
Like
my
the
ass
Queen
on
of
that.
England.
Fuck.
Yeah, right.
well, that's not alleged. That's the straight up
Stephen
truth.
Greer.
I've got
Stephen
some
Greer,
information about
listen, man,
reptilians.
Stephen Greer is.
I would like to hear.
You know his fucking app right on his phone or whatever his app.
It's Friday night on
You're
Alien
wait,
Scientist.
wait, wait.
Always this
We're
fucking crazy.
You're talking about Grinder,
No,
right?
this is
The app
after
on his
hours
phone,
on
the
Burn
app on
Eye, and
Steven.
I guess
No,
it
you're
is.
Greer
talking
used to
about
call in
the
and out
app
of guys'
on
tents and
Stephen
these fucking
Greer's
things he would
phone.
do.
You guys are talking about
And
the
then he
app
would
on
lie
Stephen
about
Greer's
this
phone. You're
wife
talking
and
about
kids he has. None of
Grinder.
those kids are his biological.
Grinder, yeah.
None of the kids are his biological.
You guys are talking about
Stephen
Grinder.
Greer
Why are we?
Jeremy.
is a fucking weird dude, man.
You guys are hilarious.
I know he is.
So you all want the nitty gritty on them reptilians? I know stuff.
Reptilians are
love to hear it.
bullshit. Go ahead.
Look, but seriously, let me tell you guys, you need to know this, please.
Can you show your face, Scott?
Dear God,
So
please show
check
your
it out.
face.
It turns out that if you Google search reptilians, you'll see that some are depicted with wings, and it turns
Yeah,
out that
dragons.
it turns out that that's because they don't come from reptiles. They actually evolved from dragonflies. So they're
Okay.
literally dragonflies,
dragonflies.
but they call them reptilians.
You have
It's
And,
kind of
uh,
weird because they said the reptilians feared something called the. They take orders from the insectoid race, and then the insectoid
I'm telling
take
you,
yeah,
they
the
derive
orders
dragonflies are
from the
related.
archons,
Reptilians are
which the
scary if
archons
they're
are
real.
demonic
They're
earth
serious
deities.
race.
So there's
All
more.
I
So
would
check this
say
out.
on this matter is that
Go ahead, Paul.
Greer looks like if he was any alien race, he looks insectoid, if anything.
Hilarious.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead, Paul.
I'll cut to the chase here. There's a dude that has a YouTube channel who he was shown on the Vice channel. He was a targeted individual, and he's got this whole
TI.
channel, a TI. Yeah, he's got this whole channel about how he's gang stalked by reptilians. And on his channel, his name's Richard Bryce or Richard Bruce.
Keep going. Yep.
And yeah, he has this whole video where he deconstructs, it's like an hour-long video where he deconstructs Stephen Greer's videos, and he slow-mos it, and then does a color adjust. He'll pause it, does a color
Wow.
adjust, and plays it back.
Man,
and you
someone
can s-
fucking did that to me. And
You're
I
talking
know
about
I'm not
Richard
fucking
Bruce.
lizards.
Richard
Yeah.
Bruce and Stephen Greer or Richard Bryce?
Richard Bryce, I think that's probably the name.
And
Yeah.
what happened when he reversed Greer's
Well,
stuff?
so even without
Man,
the
it's
color
JPEG
adjustment thing.
artifacting. They say, "Oh my, look at his pupils. They went slit shaped in
Yeah,
this one
just
frame."
look
It's
at me
bullshit.
as a right. Just check
Right.
out this original video that I'm editing
Right.
and putting layers
but
over. Right?
here's the thing is that there is a lot of shit. Like I've noticed it. I noticed it my damn self, and
Okay.
and then I saw his channel, and his channel.
Let's
Yeah, why I know
get rid of
I'm
that
echoing.
echo. So
Can you-
everybody else that's
can
not
you-
talking
can
right
you-
now for the moment, please mute just temporarily so we can eliminate that.
Can you
Okay.
do me a favor and find it, the videos, dude? I want to see this right
Okay.
fucking now about Bryce or Bruce. I'm looking.
All right.
for Bruce, I don't see it.
All right. I'll let me I'll see what I can do here. But I'll tell you
I've
the
done a
story
lot of
here, and then I'll
studying
search
on
for it.
Richard. I've done a lot of study on Greer. I want to see this.
Right. So I'm sure I can find it as long as his
Please do.
thing is
I'm
still
looking
alive.
under.
But
under,
all right. So look up
Bruce.
Vice targeted individuals, and he's on
Well,
that
I
video.
remember that show. But go ahead. Me and David Hilton did a lot of studying into TIs. I actually used to get my arm burnt all the time.
Dude, I am a fucking TI. I guarantee you.
Solo, I think we're meant to be muted.
TI is targeted individual.
Alright, why are we getting echoed here?
Because you're a damn TI. Now show me what's
Exactly.
going on, buddy. Show me. Find the video about.
Okay. All right. I'm looking this up on my other computer.
We only
here,
have
so-
till 9 o'clock in the morning. We've got 9 more fucking hours to find this.
All right, man. It's gonna take me another 30 seconds here. So basically, I'll tell you the story and then I'll look it up. So
Look at
basically,
Bernie laughing. Ain't this fun, Bernie?
this dude. So basically, this dude.
I've got a chick over Bernie's fucking show.
So basically, this dude it's on a video called "The Nightmare World of Gang Stalking" from Vice on their YouTube channel.
Yeah,
And
Ashton, yeah.
and this guy Richard something or other, Richard Bruce, Richard Bryce, whatever. He does on his own channel. He does all these videos of like he had this one shot where he's filming with his camera and he tilts up to a helicopter, then tilts down to a cop across the street, then pans left to a security officer, and they are all looking right at him.
Okay, you got to find this.
Yeah, no,
I'm looking right now, bro. Help me,
searching.
please.
I'm searching for this right now.
Vice
I'm
has a
just
lot
telling
of
you.
videos.
I'm just telling you, man, that he has this one video with Stephen Greer where he doesn't before he does. Yeah, okay, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, yeah. So the dude in this video, I'm watching this right now too. So so we just gotta find his name and then look up his name and then his YouTube channel will
Bryce, I
come
think,
right
is
up.
BRYCE.
Richard. Oh, see, I see him here as Richard, but I don't know. They title
Bryce.
him as Richard, but
Okay,
it's
there's
something
Bryce,
like Rich.
yeah.
Yeah. See, right before this, I'm watching this as yeah.
Got him there.
It's
Yeah, that's
Maynard.
him. That's him.
He's
Just
very skinny. He reminds me of
yeah.
Red
Just
Dragon.
if you roll it back like 10 seconds,
Yeah.
it'll show his name, but it's just Richard. So, but it's
AKA
something like
Dick.
Richard Bruce.
Dick
Yeah,
Bruce,
whatever.
Okay. That's all right. Dick Bruce.
But-
I'll look him up. Okay, where'd you put the link to this video at right here, guys?
But
Yeah, that looks a lot like
Put
Maynard.
the link. Can you put the
Yeah.
link down there for this video, buddy? I want to see.
yeah,
I wanna-
but this dude doesn't get as much pussy as Maynard. I'll guarantee that.
he ate a girl out from behind. She let one rip in his face and blew his nostrils off. It's unbelievable. But go ahead.
But so
Then he shit himself.
So,
It was
so
incredible.
this dude
In that plane, yep.
So this dude showed a video of Stephen Greer on his channel,
And it had Stephen
even
Greer eating
way
his testicles, yep.
before even way before he did the color shift thing, he just
Mhm.
paused it. He would just pause it and slow mo it,
And what
and
happened?
it showed his fucking throat shifting, a second set of
That's because he had a
teeth.
fucking ounce of fucking sperm in his fucking throat.
No, 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 dude.
Greer did. Sick fuck. But go ahead.
I mean, I saw these clips where you could see a second row of teeth in his mouth. You could see this whole tongue was. Like,
Oh well, then we
coming out
got.
of his
Come on,
mouth.
show me. I love
All
shit
right,
like
all right,
this,
all right,
man.
all right,
Come
all
on,
right, all
show
right,
me.
all right. Hold up.
Extra row of fucking teeth. I'm paying for this shit.
You got to use the
That
Wayback
ain't-
Machine for that stuff.
Yeah,
That guy's an asshole right
This
there.
is already as far ridiculous as I've ever seen.
Look at the meth he's done.
That's
That's face there. Looks like he's in Gary's house.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's killing me.
Am I the only one who is echoing? Oh, no.
Sometimes the echo comes out because you have two
Oh,
windows
bro.
open, the computer and
Fucking-
phone.
I just fixed it. It was on Andrew's side again. It was Andrew. Sorry, Andrew. You probably have a video playing in the
Gary's
background.
fault.
That's actually good. It's really bad on that end. I just muted you out and it
Two
completely solved the
tabs,
problem.
one speakers.
I don't know.
Gary,
You
what's
might
the
have to
drug
change your
scene
mic
like over
settings,
there where you're
maybe
at?
set up
Ain't
background
there any
noise
part, you can't
cancellation
party
as
over
an
in
option
England, can
there.
you?
I can actually probably.
What about that guy, Sean Atwood? He talks so much shit. He's over
Oh,
there
yeah.
in England, that little bald-headed fucker.
I guess I can't
You know
get
who
it.
I mean, Gary? He's over there.
I
He
do.
talks shit about aliens. He talks shit about being
Yeah.
in jail and shit over here.
Dude, he was one of the first people to. He went over to not the guy Epstein's place, but his
I believe
the
that.
female
He's a sick fuck.
female partner. What was that woman's name?
Justine,
Ghislaine Maxwell. He went
McElroy or
to her
whatever.
fucking
Oh, she did.
house. Dude, he went to her fucking house and knocked on the door.
Sean Atwood did?
Sean Atwood, uh-huh.
He does do
Yeah.
some good reporting on the ground.
Sean
truth.
looks like a thumb. He's very strange.
Dude,
Speaking of
he
double
almost
sets of
got
teeth, you
he
may
almost
find it
got
interesting.
clipped for that, I think.
One
What's
of
that?
my best friends, he's a laserist. He actually has a double set of teeth on the top side of his mouth. So.
Anthony, what's his telling
Get the
here?
fuck out.
It's a genetic illness, yeah.
I'm
He's
listening
got
to
a
him,
complex
knock
of
the
teeth
fuck
there.
out.
Genetic
They're about
illness,
exactly
yeah, right.
one tooth height behind the other row of teeth.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that
It
does
is
that
laserist.
I've seen that.
That's
yeah,
just
it's
a cover,
thing.
man. That's just a cover.
It's
Well,
a
Tell me,
literal.
Jerome.
It could be.
Or
Yeah,
Jeremy.
He's
'cause I've
also one
seen
of the
some
smartest
stuff.
people I know. So
Jeremy Goody knows. Godoy.
Yeah, I've seen some shit.
We still
man.
have a crazy echo going
Jeremy's
on.
a fucking doctor. Listen to him. Go ahead, Jeremy. Tell him.
No, I mean, I've seen some crap around here where I'm at. I mean, I sent Jeremiah a video. Did you get that video, Jeremiah? Or
Yeah,
I
he
think
got
I
it.
finally did.
Before or after
actually.
he smoked your bowl?
yeah,
What
I
is
sent you
it,
it.
Jeremy?
You could check it out. But,
Is it on YouTube, Jeremy? We can watch it right now. What is it? An alien?
no, well, it's UFO craft that they've been seeing me for like over 7 damn times already in my area, but it's more like the
How
span
high are
of-
they off the ground is what I want to know.
They're pretty up there. I would say at least about maybe a pine trees width. Like, you know how tall pine
Well,
trees
that's not
get?
high at all. Yeah,
No,
the
it's pretty
height of
close.
pine
It's pretty
trees?
low. It's pretty low. They're getting closer. But
Jeremiah, what's
Jeremiah.
up? Do you think they're real? I mean, be honest. I mean, you ain't gonna hurt his feelings.
No, oh no, I think they're real. Oh fuck. Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Bernie, I mean, Bernie, do you think they're real?
I gotta see it to believe it.
Oh,
There's
well,
a lot
put
of
the video link in the chat there, Jeremy, and we'll watch this shit. I want to see it. If it's high, if it's not high at all.
No,
we can
it's
certainly take a look
it's
at
in
them.
my file. I can't. I'm having trouble like figuring out the technical thing how to upload.
Oh, come on, they're UFO videos. You should be able to put them out at any
It's
second,
Friday.
buddy.
No one could work their computer tonight.
Yeah, well,
All you do
Jeremiah,
is put 'em in a
he's got the
fucking YouTube
video. He
link,
might
bro.
be able to know how to like do it right.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Sorry. What email address did you send it to?
I sent it
Is
to
the
your phone. Your phone.
Oh,
Is the
that
echo
would
fixed?
explain why
Did
I
I
don't
fix
have it on
it?
email. Well, I'm not on
Andrew,
StreamYard on
he
my
has
phone.
some real
The
good UFO
megabyte
videos.
is too much.
Doesn't
Like
have 'em-
it's too
He
much
doesn't have
memory
it in a
to send
fucking
it to email.
program to even show them to us. I'm just like, are you kidding me? What the fuck?
I'd have to download it and then email it to myself.
Yeah, so like that's why I said
Always
my
keep
phone.
it in a private YouTube file. Dude, I have a video that I can totally debunk the Patterson YouTube or the Patterson Bigfoot footage. And you can literally see the holster going up into his waistline. I'm the only one in the world that has this footage.
Oh shit!
I want to debunk the Patterson footage. People are going to hate me, but I have it. I've showed it to people, and they're like, "Oh my
Okay,
god, where
I found
did
it.
you fucking
Yeah.
get
like
that?"
you so
This one was
I
actually
have
pretty
one
cool.
of the only copies known to mankind
This is
of the
actually pretty
first
good.
generation that was taken from Mrs. Patterson. They took an image of
know.
each digital fucking frame, and I got it, and you can see the hook coming out of his waist. Jeremy's
got this
seen it already
online?
and was like, "Oh my gosh, dude, that's incredible." I
This
can
is gonna be
debunk
so
it. I can
good.
show
Yeah,
it
I've
right
been.
now.
They've been paying attention to me.
All right,
bro.
let's see
Like,
what. This is Jeremy's footage
Uh-oh.
off of Jeremy's phone.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
I know.
Jeremy's at the
This is
bar.
really crude. Okay, so I'm on StreamYard on my laptop.
Oh, we can see the
This-
reflected
This
screen.
video is on the phone, but it's still, and it's gonna be crude. But I'm just gonna hold the phone up to cam
See,
here.
make sure
You
the
can zoom
angle is
in.
right
You can
so
zoom
that
in.
you don't get the glare.
You can
And you
zoom
can put
in
it
with
closer.
your fingers.
And put it closer to the lens. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can
sure.
zoom in. Yep.
Like, I can't tell the sea there, they'll go away.
Yeah, I'm talking so I can antagonize them a bit.
Smart the UFOs. You're not really not smart. You guys gotta be careful what I say. You get insulted too much, I get pissed.
It kind of looks like
Look
flares.
at them blinking in and out. Look at this. So there was 5, now there's 3.
Cool.
Oh.
I had trouble zooming in. You know, it's hard to zoom in.
You
It
sure they're
really
not
is.
these new alien dope dealers? But go ahead.
And those are not drones. Like you can
Stand
zoom in
right
with
at
your
the mall and
fingers.
sell the shit, and then take
Yeah.
off when the takes go up.
You can spread the video with your fingers, like putting it on and then doing like a motion like this.
You guys can come back and pay me if I can visit.
It's up on that roof there, right? Well, you gotta close it in a little bit. Zoom in, guys.
You can zoom in by doing like this. Like I'm trying to show it where my fingers are at. Like,
Bernie,
doing
did
like
you sort your
that.
new phone out yet?
Yeah, I got a better phone, but this was recorded on an iPhone 14 or 15,
Kind of
whichever,
strange
you know.
it's at a mall.
That was cool.
There's always some kind of lighting going on in the mall, but I
Yeah,
don't
but
know
you
what to
can
tell you.
zoom in with the iPhone. You can zoom in on the video.
Oh,
so-
that iPhone 14 is fantastic, huh?
Yeah, but I got a more advanced one. It's like $900, so I gotta
Way
pay
too
that.
cheap to
But
buy one of them.
I got a better one, so yeah.
Bernie, did you get your new phone yet?
So I have it. I have
gonna-
it.
you were gonna
I
WhatsApp me.
I have to transfer the SIM card so
Mate,
that
that's
I
a
can get my signal.
5-minute job. Do it. Do it.
I know.
Bernie, what do you
okay.
have? A new iPhone or what? I use
No,
Android.
Samsung. I'm going from a Samsung 9 to 21. Yeah, I
I've
gotta
got the
get it done.
21.
I will do it. You're right. 20,
I
that's
don't
pretty
use my
good.
phone for anything
Yeah.
other than calling and texting and watching YouTube videos, so I don't bother getting good phones anymore because they get fucking
Oh
broken.
no, the camera and the video, the quality is
Wow.
absolutely
And the
on.
sensors. The sensors
Wanna
are
know.
better.
Wow, that is nice.
I'd say,
I'm not
I'd say it's
poor. I
worth
just
it.
don't like fucking the
I
newer
guess,
technology.
What do you want to feed?
Scaring me
right?
small.
Here's
Gary, is it true you weren't allowed to use the internet for a while?
Yeah, I was banned for 10 years. Yeah.
I remember that shit. Yes, he was. It's crazy.
I remember that shit.
I know. I remember, that's funny. I remember seeing you on TV like once a week because I used to always watch UFO shit. Gary McKinnon. I'm like, damn, this guy's going to jail, man.
Dude,
You
Gary,
know,
you and I gotta
got
talk
lucky.
because
Yeah,
I've been
gotta hook up.
I've been through some real serious shit lately, and
Gary,
some
we pray
real
that you don't go to jail. They need to drop their attempts to extradite you and stop trying to charge
Oh, they
you
can't.
for-
They can't. As long as I don't go anywhere with a different legal system.
Middle Jeremy, since we have 7 Jeremys, are you okay, bro? What kind of trouble are you in? Are you in a drug case or something? What's up?
No,
You look like you're going
no,
to jail
no.
there the way you were signed, buddy. I'm serious. Look like you're going to shit your pants too.
Dude, I'll just
What's
put it this way.
wrong?
I've had people break into my hotel room and install
Why?
child porn on my fucking Tails USB
Oh, come
drive.
on.
Yeah,
They broke into your hotel room and put child porn on
They
what?
don't have to
Yeah,
break into your hotel room to
one
do
image.
that.
Well, yeah, okay, but they didn't have to break in.
Gary,
No, they
stop
didn't.
it.
But they
Gary.
all right. They had a wireless network outside my place that I would have that they thought my
Oh,
laptop
no.
would have locally connected to, but it
All
didn't
we need
because I
is
was running
to
a
look at your
PC.
logs.
Right, but I was running Tails on a PC laptop running off a
Ah,
USB
no
stick
logs.
with a persistent drive. And so they had the person at the Motel 6 distract me at the front desk for like 10 minutes and
What'd they
just run this
distract
whole
you with?
fucking. They were like, oh, well, it doesn't look like you even like checked into this room. Your name's not even on the thing. And
Oh,
it's just
boy.
this whole registry bullshit. I'm like,
there's a problem. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like, okay, so you're distracting me for 10 minutes, and because I asked to get some towels,
That don't sound good either. You're getting
No,
towels and shit, and there's fucking porn on your phone. What the fuck?
I had something similar to me
I'm
once.
curious, bro. I'm looking
Not
at this from
child
a
porn,
jail
but
side.
I had a distraction when I was out of my house, and I got back, and there's little things I used to do to know if someone had been in, and someone had been in, while this weird distraction was going on. An apparent fan. Because I'm polite, I was talking to him for like 30 fucking minutes, which I normally wouldn't want to do. But yeah, got back to my place, and my little sentries were alerted.
Oh wow!
And that's what they do. Yeah, they physically divert you while they do the job, the black bag operation on your house or wherever.
Oh yeah. And that's the
Hey,
thing
listen,
is
whatever you're doing there, Jeremy, in the middle, because there's so many of you now, stay the fuck off whatever you're doing there. Okay?
Oh, dude.
Then you don't have to turn the shit off that where you're at. Are you still there?
Me?
Yeah.
No,
Or do you
Jeremy in
mean-
the middle.
middle
No.
Jeremy.
So yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Middle
So I think what pissed these people off is that I was starting to write a book of about my experiences that I had experienced earlier on this year in the summer, living with this woman, and I was really just
living
writing
with
it.
a woman.
Yeah,
pissed
and I was
them
really
off.
I really was just writing this book because I'd written my own memoir. I was writing this book for my own personal satisfaction to process memories. I'm a big journaling person. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're somebody who's dealt with trauma in your life, journaling is a great thing.
So you're gonna write about fucking this woman and it pissed the government off. So they put porn on your phone.
It's not fucking this one, but just the
Bro,
whole
let me ask you
scenario
something. You
around
smoking a
her.
lot of dope or something? Seriously, you're
No,
a paranoid. I don't think
no.
any of this is real. I think you're losing a little bit. Seriously.
Yeah, well,
I think you've made a great therapist.
Because
think
listen, the
everyone-
reason for doing it doesn't outweigh the means. Okay, you understand what I'm saying?
What's with the echo here?
I guess it's me again. I'm sorry, guys.
Do you guys agree that his excuse for them doing it to him doesn't make any sense?
All right. Well, the thing is that if I was to get into more details, it would get me into more trouble. But I will say this: that when I moved out of the place with this woman, and I moved, I drove 5 hours away to where I grew up, where my folks live.
Yeah.
20 or more cars followed me, and then that night this person spooked me out of my parents' backyard, and fucking a team of 20 plus people, I think 25 people in teams of 5, were tracking me through this big public park. I evaded this whole team for an entire night from like
What do you
9
think
p.m. to
you've been
6
done
a.m.
to be tracked so intensively? That's a lot of cars and teams.
Because they had hacked. Because when I was living with this woman, she had put spyware on my computer, my iPhone, my iPad, my
Fuck, that's
PlayStation
99%
4,
of the
everything.
world.
But I mean, what's the attraction
Right.
to you?
Right. But I think because where I lived, they had security
No,
cameras
but
everywhere
what's
on
the
the
reason?
outside.
Why would you be such a high priority target
Right.
for them to be devoting such resources to you? This is a very good point by Gary.
Because I was starting to write short stories about what I had lived through, and basically where I lived was this cabin out in the middle of the woods I won't say where it is, but it was a fucking blackmail operation like Jeffrey Epstein. They had cameras everywhere. They had cameras hidden in devices. I know that they videotaped me and this woman having sex all over the place.
Why would they kill you?
Well, they
you need to get some medicine, bro.
Well,
Xanax or something. You're losing it. You're paranoid, dude. None of this is real. I'm sorry.
I would say that paranoia is, important. Like, you probably need it regardless of what you do in life, even if you're not doing anything super sketchy. You, just like Gary was saying, he had, ways to detect if somebody broke into his house and those kinds of things. Everybody should benefit from protecting, covering their tracks, like you said, with tails and things like that. But we also have to, make sure that we're not losing our cool at some points. You could,
right,
just go crazy with paranoia. I fall victim to that too sometimes.
Yeah. Well, certainly, and I actually put all of my I leave my emotions out of it, and I just take data. I keep track of data. I keep track every single day, my journaling, my audio records, my digital
You
records. I back up everything.
Jeremy, you have evidence of this Epstein style operation going on? Is that what this all leads
Yeah,
to? Or is that a
yeah, I
figment?
do. And that's actually what they're really pissed off about, is that I have records of everything, and I've backed it up fucking in a million places, and they're pissed about that. And I mean, dude, these people fucking came into my hometown and tried to kidnap me. They
Evidence of what though?
evidence of that they bring people to this cabin to fucking either blackmail them and have them under their thumb and slaves forever, or they fucking
who are these people and who are these
I'm
things?
really not comfortable talking about this on a live stream. Like, not at all. Like, I've said too much already.
Well, you should have started it.
But no, I maybe after hours we can talk about it a little bit more. But I'm not going to get into the specifics on a live stream because these people
one
are
thing
very
that
powerful.
I'm not condoning what you're saying or disagreeing with it. I would just say that everybody, if they're afraid for their life, should have some type of a dead man switch, which means you back up your whatever you think is valuable that people are trying to get you for somewhere where, let's say, you send it a keep alive every so often, to say, oh, I'm still here. But if you don't send that keep alive, then that information becomes public knowledge. I mean, there's millions of ways to do that, but that's one way. Like, if you're afraid that somebody's trying to get you, you can secure yourself in that way, but you can't live in fear. That's just going to drive you insane. But if you take measured steps, you can protect yourself.
Yep.
Well,
session over.
It's actually a pretty decent solution.
That's a good solution. I mean, I am. I've worked with deadband switches, and I've got some going. I don't know. Are you familiar with John McAfee?
Never heard of him.
Get the fuck out! Stop it, Gary.
No idea.
So he had this deadman switch, in some kind of in some kind of condo high rise in
nobody's dead. Did it go off?
No, he had his
What was
deadman
on?
switch in a
What was
server
on
in
McAfee's
Florida.
deadman switch? That's the Can we access this? That's actually a good topic. Why can't we? Let's go through this.
Yeah,
I want to
because
see
why
what's
we
on
can't.
McAfee's deadman switch.
Well, because why we can't is because it looks like, if you look up, there was a condo building in Florida that was demolished.
I live there.
And it looks like half the building got hit with a
Are you
9/11
saying
type
that
deal.
You talking about Daytona Beach, right?
That Miami
Possibly.
was the building that hosted McAfee's deadman switch. Is this what you're telling me?
How long ago, Bernie? Was this like how long ago is Jeremy in the middle? Was this like 6 months ago? It was
like 2 years ago.
Okay, but hold on a minute here. This was caused by supposedly a hurricane, right?
It was like a random.
This was Daytona Beach.
Not a demolition.
Right up
it
from
was
my
like
place.
It was a random. Gosh, what's the word here? Not a demolition. It's
Insurance
a random,
companies call it a god event.
Yeah, insurance companies won't cover none of this.
right, like destruction.
Fuckers.
I don't know. Sorry
about
looked
that,
like
you lot of people on
half the
YouTube.
building.
Fuck you.
It looked
Go ahead.
like.
I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, all right. I got this here.
That's funny.
Look at
Everybody's
this
name's
here.
Jeremy, for Christ's sakes.
My name's Jeremy. I'm Spartacus.
Is it really? Gary McKinnon. Gary, you have a good flowing name, Gary.
Boom. All right.
In this corner, we have Gary McKinnon.
Right? I love it.
In this corner, with
he's in the center.
A gentleman who will burn your fucking eye.
While we have Gary, Gary,
What's that?
Gary, do you want to just give us a brief rundown of what you've been posting on your?
Yes,
You've been
tell us
working
what
on
you've
some
been doing
UFO
lately.
technology, right?
Yeah. Basically, I've been reading about the Bifeld Brown effect since 2007.
Yeah.
And there's definitely something to it. If you
Well,
read
I
all the
can tell you
literature,
all
no one
about
knows
some
how the
little
fuck it
The
works.
B-21 flies with that effect, right? I heard.
I'd like to know anything I don't already know. I've been doing a lot of reading for like 18
Well, in the
years.
private meeting last time, I brought up the material known as a lofting cake. It was in T.T. Brown's notebooks that are now up
Yeah.
on his family website and also on
Yeah.
Rex Research.
Seen
And
that,
lofting cake was the quintessential piece inside the saucer-shaped craft that he was developing, where it was able to take the vector force of ionic thrust and with the stimulated pulse that was provided by the exciter transformer being blasted into the lofting cake sandwich material, mainly created what he called gravitational isotopes, opposite of inertial isotopes, that they would lose a huge amount of mass. They would envelop a very large field surrounding the entire craft, and that its inertia
English,
could
for Christ.
effectively be reduced significantly so that it would take a very small force vector in order to propel this thing incredibly fast. And this was the final thing that he added to the two crafts, the two saucers that were on the balance beam that could circularly rotate sort of in this torsion balance way, but they'd fly out like a
Yeah, and apparently one that even levitated.
So, the dual the dual disc
in France.
demonstration, right, that he showed the Navy admiral. Well, that was the final thing before all this went blacklisted. And the discovery of the lofting cakes that he had separated out from bentonite clay, from tantalum, from tungsten carbide, and from a variety of other materials that he found were ideal for this particular application, had a high odd nuclear spin isotope ratio as compared to naturally abundant materials. And he was able to separate these things out based on their charge when they are being kinetically excited or perturbated. Some of them were photonically responsive, so if you would shine UV light source on them in high concentration, then you would end up getting these particles actually separating out and lofting directly off the net mass of the material. This was one of the things he noticed in the bentonite clay and in some of the Sahara desert sands. And then there were other materials that could be kinetically oscillated, like, for example, the tungsten carbide, or materials that could be electrically excited when struck with an arc, like the tantalum. And certain percentages of that powder would actually be gravitational isotopes containing an odd nuclear spin isotope ratio, and they would rise up off the rest of the material, being attracted towards the cathode or towards the anode, depending on the polarization of what he was striking it with and what he was looking for.
That's the strange thing, isn't it? The attraction depends on the topology, doesn't it? It's not always towards the anode or always towards the cathode.
Exactly.
Right, well, it depends. Like the 30 depends exactly on whether the isotope has, one too many or one too few protons or neutrons.
Yeah. That's deep, man. I'm a bench guy. I'm not knowledgeable about physics at all. So I'm all about what I can see and feel on the bench. And all I've done so far is used glass as a dielectric, aluminium plates for the capacitor, both symmetric and asymmetric, weigh between 50 to 70 grams. I've used nitrile rubber as a dielectric as well. And I've used Faraday shields as well to make sure the digital scales aren't being affected, and got between 0.22 and 1.4 grams weight loss. But the latest thing I'm trying to do is make a nice flat disc. And thank you to Michael Perrone for nudging me in the direction of CCTO, copper calcium titanate, which I bought in like an almost nanopowder form.
You mind showing
And
again?
but making a fucking
Yeah,
solid
we got
disc
your
out of
full
this thing
screen
is a
now, so show
huge
that
pain
again.
in the arse.
We want to see what
Yeah.
Perrone sent you, because everything that Perrone sends is awesome.
Oh no, I made this. Perrone just told me to use.
Sent you in the right direction. Gotcha.
Yeah. I was going to use barium titanate, but he said no, go for copper calcium titanate.
That's CCTO that you're holding there. What's the binder?
It is, but yeah, I didn't use a binder. This is just a pure melt, because the binder also needs at least 90 megapascals pressure, which is
A
beyond
melt.
me
Well,
at the
considering
moment.
that starts out as a brown powder and now it's turned this very chalky gray.
Yeah, but I think it may have absorbed some graphite from the crucible, so I have to be careful. Or it
Hey
may just
Jeremy, I
be different
accidentally
stages
got
of
kicked out of
melting.
the StreamYard thing. Can you let me back in? Please.
You're in
my friend?
already.
All right.
You're
Thanks.
in.
Yep, Amber. Bye.
So I'm just trying to get a nice flat disc because that's too rotund in the center and won't do well with the plates. And what I'm aiming for is 8-hour heating, whereby you can apparently raise the dielectric constant, to 280,000, which is just fucking crazy. I mean, they call it huge. It's more than huge. It's phenomenal. And on paper, I've done some basic maths. Even with about 5,000, the thing should float. But that's as far as I've got. Just a small weight loss.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I just to geek out for a second. Look at Jeremy Walter's like video. No, change it. Go back to how it was. Now that I just brought attention to, shut that light back up.
Mm-hmm.
Get back off. It was cool. It looked like some just these floating eyes. I caught it. I was like entertained by the moment because sometimes you see artistic fascinations in the littlest things, and I thought that is super
It's Bigfoot.
interesting.
It's eye shine.
Right?
Right, I know it's a reflection from his display, but it looks like eyes, and it makes it super interesting.
He's drunk and he's got fucking
Videos are so easy to
like this
fake.
because they matter. You gotta see
It's-
that in the
it's
science.
too-
like,
it's
What's
two
going on,
cigar-shaped
exotic
UFOs.
propulsion, is he's fucking drunk because he's got people putting shit in his computer. Jeremy does. He's fucked up in the head over it. I'd be too.
well, she has
Poor kid is fucking
Exotic
look at him. He's
compulsion.
fucking looking,
She
doing
don't put it in
backflips and
because
shit
he's got
in his
no
living
room.
room. I
He's
can't
got no
believe
room
it.
for shit. It's fucking loaded, man. My
He's
computer
doing
constantly
fucking
gives me
flips
your
and
hard
shit.
drive is full messages. So,
If I caught a gremlin on my computer putting shit on, I'd fuck him up, man. I wouldn't hesitate.
Fuck that gremlin up.
Hey
Look
guys,
at him.
can I add something about the anti-gravity?
Well,
Hey
hell
man,
yeah, Paulie.
thanks for
yes,
bringing
now
me
you're
back
talking
in.
my language.
That's
That's
right.
what I really
Good,
came for.
good, Paulie.
Hey, can somebody pull up like a Google image of Coral Castle, the bricks? Because I want to show you guys something that I know will blow your mind.
Coral Castle.
You know,
I've
we
been
can
into
give
that
you
since
we can give you
95.
screen access. There's still enough slots where you can actually share your screen, and we can put you up for whatever you want to share.
I've got to go and steal some more of my girlfriend's cigarettes. Back in a sec.
Oh, can I have one?
Man, I'm on my cell phone. That's why.
Oh, that makes it really
Jeremy
difficult.
Walter, you are not from the Pennsylvania area, are you?
No,
Bernie might
Michigan.
be able to do it.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
So basically,
that's only a 9-hour drive, man.
Well, Walter without an S on the end of it's pretty common around here. I know a bunch of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I
Dude,
just
that's
wanted
crazy. You go and hang with Michael Schratt, dude. He's a fucking legend.
Bro, I used to hang out with John Lear. I hung out with Mike Schratt. I hung out with everybody. Edgar Fouché was my best friend. I knew everybody, man.
Right.
And like,
Okay.
dude, you
We
freaking
you and me,
Lori
we
York.
gotta
I
trade
mean,
numbers
all
or
the
something
names.
I'm in my
offline.
50s, bro. Huh?
check it out, guys. Check out what I uncovered about his rocks. He was doping his rocks. Choose any photo of the rocks and zoom in, and you will see that they're all perforated. They have a hole right down the middle. All of them do. They're
What is he put? What is he doping it with? Silver? What is that? Looks silver. to me.
no, it was acid. He was breaking them apart with acid down the middle.
Wow.
Was he
Why?
doing it to
Because
charge them?
yes, because when you mix acid with water, it creates
That
heat.
looks like
So,
concrete.
but I really want you to see it, and you could even see that they're stained. So that's why I never understood why nobody caught on to that right away. It's like obviously he
Bernie,
was doping them.
sort the images that you're searching for by resolution, so that you get the highest res ones first, and that way you'll be able to zoom in to a high degree and take a look
Holy
at the fitting
fuck,
that he's
look how
trying to
shiny
refer
it
to here.
Look at the hole on that one. They all have holes. Just zoom in, and you will see the telltale sign.
Can you tell me what are you looking for in the hole?
He would drill a hole down the middle to pour the acid. And guess what? I found a video from 1990 on YouTube when I was up all night one time researching it. And this man found that there was a broken lip bottle inside of those holes. And he had a flashlight and he was looking down the hole and everything of a specific rock. And he found out. So that tells you that he was putting a bottle, sticking them there. Probably did it during the day so it could get all soiled. And plus, he also talks about that in his books that he left. He would say, soil the girls. So they were his girls, and he would soil them.
What was the point of the?
There's also the possibility too. One would possibly argue that with so many people visiting that destination, they might have had a bottle that they tried to use as
There were
use that as
so
a
many
cap
people.
opener.
No,
There
but
were
this
so
guy
many
clearly says
visiting
this guy
people
clearly
in
says
this
that it was in
destination.
there.
They all just love soiling girls. All of them love soiling girls. All the people visiting
What
this
is that all
location.
about? Soiling girls?
He was giving a secret that that's how he was levitating the rocks. He was changing the density.
Shit.
These
We
analog
should make a video.
drive
We should go there
electromagnetic forces.
and make a video about it and post it on YouTube.
He was
We can all
working on
see
it
it.
at the very atomic level with the acid because it breaks it apart. And that guy Vincent, who has a YouTube channel dedicated to him, he actually shared a newspaper clip from Florida that was taken of Edward Leedskalnin, and he does talk about acid, and that's when I knew that I was right on this trail. So he was
By the
definitely
way,
joking them.
speaking of Coral Castle, now, so I've
this
talked with
is
Vinny
the
St. Vincent
Coral
on the phone
Castle,
several
dude?
times, and Vinny's a great guy. He's like dedicated to sort of the core research, and he's got a
Look at
very
the yellow.
respect
Look at the mustard yellow on the rocks. They're stained. That's the kind of stain that you get when you work with that acid from the battery. What's it called? That battery acid.
It's called sulfuric acid. That's
Sulfuric. There you go. Bingo. That one. And he does talk about using that in a very rare what do you call it? Very rare interview for a newspaper that only Vinny Vincent has, and he actually shared it online.
I wanted to mention too that it's just kind of exciting. There's a guy that wrote a book about Coral Castle, about anti-gravitics, the physics associated with it. Now he just re-released the book in a preliminary version that I'll be reading through pretty soon and just going through. But if he's now running this as sort of a prelim to have it reviewed, 135 pages. He talks about the entire construction of Coral Castle, some of the physics that would possibly be involved, and then he's also done some deep investigation into the Stan Dale flying wedding cake, also known as a Stan Dale lifter platform. And so he's constructed several of them. He's now constructed 4. I've tested all of them.
Have you ever been down there, Jeremiah?
No, I never felt the need to go because of the full investigations that have already been done on behalf of certain questions that I'd asked. And
I think it's bullshit, but don't take it from me. I think that we've got a positive on the bullshit there, but I could be wrong.
Zoom in on those holes.
With systems of levers and everything conventional. So I understand that, but I also see that there's a lot of other odd stuff going on. And why did the guy write a book on magnetics? So it's the whole lore. I mean, it was one of those things that it was created as a
I forget what Jeremy and me busted him on. It was pretty big.
Look at them yellow stains though. They're all stained. They have that yellow sulfuric acid stain on them. That's like, oh my god.
Yeah, but what's that proving,
especially
man?
with
It's
that
proving that they were
chemistry, that
proving that
photograph.
something was it atomically attached to the fucking rock, like you were saying.
Exactly.
Well, there's actually a much better reason, guys. If you really wanted to know, and this was found too in Egypt. There are different acids, so many different acids can soften stone. It's been well known that if you soak them, you can totally soften the stone. A nice dip in the Nile in Egypt will pretty well wash out residues of wines or other things that were used to concentrate acids. But yeah, sulfuric acid is a nice one because it'll soften the stone up. You could actually carve it by hand with direct pressure. You won't even need a hammer if you thoroughly soften the surface of the stone with the acid. And so you can shape it into many different structures and do it with
another theory. I have another theory because I've also been that was my own research that I did, but I also noticed that he had his so-called barbecue pit. But I'm a barbecuer myself. I've been barbecuing all my life, and I know that when animal fats fall on any surface, they'll stay there for years and years, especially if you use it over and over again. And his barbecue grill has no spots. So what I think he was doing was he was also getting hot rods, heating them up, and then putting them right down the hole after they've been soiled, which causes another effect. And he might have actually been levitating them like hydrogen balloons with immense heat.
Right.
So I mean it makes a lot of sense because he did he got spied by 2 kids, and that's exactly what they told their parents. They could have sworn he levitated them like hydrogen balloons, and he also moved the park once, and he rented a truck. And when the guy dropped the truck off to his place, he forgot his lunchbox or some personal item. He came back 30 minutes, and the rocks were already mounted onto the truck, and so there was no tripod in in view. So obviously he knew how to get that done towards the end of his life. He was more of a master at it.
I'm going to bow out, guys. It's 5 a.m. here, so good to talk to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna probably shut
Gary,
it down.
you're always an epic guest. I mean, you're a huge
late.
name. You're the
Yeah.
reason why a lot of people came on today in the first place. So thank you for
Gary,
being with us, sticking with us, hearing the crazy conspiracies of today's absolutely wild and ridiculous show as it became. But obviously, you're a team player. You clearly stuck with
Gary's
it through, and you didn't mind hearing the wildest of wild. So that's
Gary,
that's
you gotta come Bigfoot.
That's
sometime.
awesome.
The Queen of
Gary,
England
come
is a
Bigfoot
reptile.
sometime, brother. You got to
Right?
come to. Oh no, you can't come to the United States, but man, when you
No.
can, we get the right
He's
president.
joining us digitally.
We're going out Bigfoot hunting, Gary. We're taking you with us. It's going to be
I
wild.
would
We're going to go
fucking
to
love to do
Radium
that.
up where Bernie's at.
We've got many reports of Bigfoot in Scotland.
I know.
And some of them from expert mountaineers who are very
You
sensible.
guys have some of the best
people.
mountains over
Really?
there too.
Yeah.
And some of the places over there, like
There's,
Scotland.
Everything I've heard about
there's a
Bigfoot
legend-
is that dude is super cool and super intelligent and also very fuzzy. So
There's a legend called the
I don't
Big
know if
Grey
it's true.
Man. The Big Grey Man of Ben McDoon. Ben McDoon is a mountain in Scotland. And
fuzzy
we got
balls.
little gnomes and stuff. You guys have little gnomes there, just like Nome, Alaska. You guys have. There's always been sightings of little people over in the UK. Always.
Yeah, shit like that too. Yeah.
In the countryside location.
And the demon dog, or
I
that,
swear I
evil
experienced
dog. That,
something like that
Listen to
this
this.
summer,
Yeah,
although
I
I was
discussing it.
Bigfoot.
yeah.
Go ahead, Bernie. Bernie,
I was-
imitate the noise it was making when I went.
Anyway,
"Woo, woo."
I can't.
peace out.
Hey,
Please,
Gary,
brother,
I put my email in
I'm
the.
gonna do my homework and I will
I
have
put my
signal
email
up
in the
so
chat
we
here.
can talk.
Can
Burn
we
eye.
Let's
Image
try
it.
one
Jeremiah's
more time.
got my contact
Okay,
details.
everybody.
Okay, all right.
Everybody,
Gotcha.
let's
Oh,
pause
Cool.
for a second.
All right.
Let's
Yeah,
try
say
one
bye
at a
to
time.
Gary.
Gary's got a few questions coming in. Let's just go in order. Raise your hands, please.
All right, we're gonna ask you one more
Nobody can hear
question before you
anything. We got to take turns.
Yeah, in Britain we take turns.
Would it be okay if I ask a question? I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah,
Okay, so can we go in order? Hands. Who's got
Andrew.
questions for Gary before he has to go?
All right, I'll shoot a
Jeremy's
quick
got his
question.
hand up first. So first come, first serve.
Gary, I put my email in the chat here in the private chat. Can we get each other? Because I'd like to ask you some questions about legal representation and how you dealt with your situation and stuff. Do you see that?
Oh yeah, the very bottom. Yeah, I got you.
Okay, awesome.
I thought
Let's talk.
Score with his hand up next, and then Jeremy Godey.
Who's next? Go ahead.
Oh, nothing from you. Okay, go ahead, Cody. Nothing.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm sorry. I'm
Yes,
just gonna
Gary.
shoot. I apologize. Gary, I've heard a lot recently in the news about these craft or creatures being in a higher dimension or something to that effect. And what are your thoughts on that side of things? I
think,
I see a lot of materialists here in the audience, and I want to see your perspective on that.
Yeah, well, obviously the world isn't just material, and modern physics is venturing towards consciousness creates matter, and I've had many out of the body experiences. So it all comes down to your fundamental worldview in the end. These things that build upon that, and I think that everything's a lie and everything's true. Whether it's ghosts and vampires and werewolves or government conspiracies, the world that's presented to us on the surface is a complete fucking lie, and we're the victims. And a lot of the stuff that's mysterious, esoteric, in my experience, is true. So it's hard to answer questions like that because I believe that this actual life, this world, isn't a simulation in the computer sense of the word. It's a biological, true simulation. And I believe in the recycling of souls, and that this is a place we have to escape. Earth, it's a fucking
hell.
dungeon. Yeah. So I'm no longer really interested in UFOs, ETs, blah blah blah. For me, it's about your soul, and not in a religious way, but your soul as a scientific element, really, because I know that my consciousness is separate from my body. I'm exploring that for now. So
Awesome.
I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, I appreciate the answer because I've gone in that direction too myself,
Oh,
and I
cool.
appreciate the answer. Yeah.
Nice.
That
Okay.
makes the perfect topic for our next stream together, Gary. I'm gonna look forward to that, and definitely have pages upon pages to discuss in the consciousness realm, the science of the metaphysics, the eternal soul, and the rest of that. So,
But how can we use words to discuss it?
well,
Symbols,
sound
only
insane
symbols.
because it's impossible to describe or explain infinity, but I guess you got to use geometry maybe through shapes and symbols. I don't know. But thank you for joining us. On
It's
that
been a
note,
pleasure.
any last words for anybody, or I will.
Yeah, if it wasn't for you discovering the space program that they did, I wouldn't have found more stuff related to certain games showing evidence to correlated ties to that.
Oh,
And
sweet. Man.
yeah, especially with like the James Rink guy, if you know Super Soldier Talk, that he says he found like supposedly some number in his dreams in the Pentagon.
I negate all super soldiers. There's no way if you were a super soldier on such a program, you'd be on fucking YouTube discussing it.
Did you just say the super soldier program is bullshit? Because I think so too. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I will say,
Yeah.
since we're at that
Cool.
perfect mark,
Yeah.
we're at that
Thank
3
you.
minute,
And
3 hours.
And on that note, I would also like to make a point that a lot of the super soldier, apparent super soldiers, end up
Are
like
liars.
testifying that it was through meth hallucinations that a lot of
20 and back my ass.
right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
On
20
that
and back,
note,
man.
we will see you all on the next one.
So hey, before that, just keep
the
in
truth
mind,
is in you.
after the outro, the epic outro, right? If you have a few things to say for the next 5 minutes after it's off air, stick around and let's just get to the juicy stuff and get that out of the way. So.
Fair enough. I'll post
It's
like
good to
one
meet
last
you.
time.
So don't dash right away. We
And
will be here after the show.